There's a strong chance you're not that far off from winning in business and at the game of life. It just takes one idea, but you gotta have unwavering belief and burning desire. If you can couple that with a lockdown strategy that's fueled by heart, hustle, and muscle, you got a shot at winning. There's one thing that all champions have in common. They get shit done. So welcome to the Get Shit Done experience. Well, we are back at it again. That is right. You are in studio with us. This is the Get Shit Done experience, also known as the GSDX podcast. And I got to tell you, we are on fire. The numbers are coming in. I think we're going to win an Oscar, Nick. It's going to be pretty amazing. Maybe not an Oscar, but is there like a... Yeah, okay. Something. Is there like some...
Maybe a plaque.
Maybe a plaque.
Yeah.
A plaque. Yeah. I will take a plaque. plaque.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great. The voice that you're hearing is Mr. Nick Verzillo, who is the Director of Sales for GSD Technologies and TTSG. Round of applause for yourself. Congratulations for that. And we have you joining the show today. But I'm sorry you are the second Nick in charge today because, ladies and gentlemen, we have the first time ever in my life I'm meeting an Olympic gold medalist for the first time, Mr. Nick Baumgartner. Thanks for joining the show. Now we can actually clap for that. That's actually a pretty amazing thing. So we got something special here. So those of you that don't know who Nick is, let me just give you a little background real quick so you could just get the vibe here. You're probably seeing on camera. Hi. You're seeing on camera a book here in front of me that is for purchase. We've got here Gold from Iron, and you will learn very quickly why that name is relevant beyond the gold medal. And here's the bio. 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics, mixed team snowboard cross, gold medalist. That is right, absolutely. And World Championships. Let's talk about a gold in 2017 in Sierra Nevada. Let's talk about bronze in 2009 and 2015 for snowboard cross. And then at the Winter X Games, we brought home gold as well in 2011 for snowboard cross. And a silver in 2012 in Aspen, again for snowboard cross. And by the way, the guy's just an athlete, but he also likes to kind of get involved in racing crazy trucks, right? So in 2011, Nick thought, it wasn't enough adrenaline for him just to go down a mountain as fast as he possibly could. He decided he was going to get into these crazy trucks, and he decided to go win some racing. Right, so he's finished in the top 3 in each of the first 3 races in 2011. He'll say that it's because he had the best engine. We'll tell him that it's because he had great talent. Somewhere in between is the truth, I think, right?
I think so.
So pretty unbelievable resume, but we want to get to know how Nick has got so much shit done in his life and has written this amazing book. And by the way, I also want to mention this. If you are in charge of marketing, or if you are a brand leader or you're a CEO of an organization, Nick will come out and do inspirational speeches and talk to your team. And he is also taking on sponsorship agreements where he could be the name and the voice and the face for your organization, right? So, I mean, look at that face. So, Nick, I got to ask you. You've done all these amazing things. Where did you get started? I know you're from Michigan, but tell us about the upbringing. What was that like?
Yeah, so I was born in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, a very small town in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, right on the Wisconsin border. And so I got my start snowboarding, following my brothers like I did in everything that I did. I had 3 older brothers that were absolute stud athletes in everything that they did. And me as the youngest brother, I wanted to be accepted. I wanted them to want to let me hang out. I mean, everyone that's got older siblings know the younger kids drive their older brothers nuts. They wanted nothing to do with me, pushed me away, and I just wanted acceptance. So I had to follow their lead and follow them into every sport that they were doing and try to earn their acceptance. Yeah. And then it turned into more than that. I wanted to beat them in some kind of sport. And it's just following them in everything that I did and chasing that. Put me on this path that I'm on now and still continuing to do.
There's always savings, but it's about way more than savings alone. Total Technology Solutions Group redefines managed print services. Excellence is the minimum standard. TTSG is a true managed print service provider, deeply understanding your technology and business goals. Your business is unique. Our solutions are tailored to your current and future business goals. Our customer-first approach empowers and delights. TTSG can ensure your technology environment will scale as your business does. So as you navigate business and constant change, partner with TTSG for premium advisement and seamless implementation of your technology goals. We set the bar high. Your people deserve it. Peace of mind. Powerful innovation. TTSG.com. So you had a complete chip on your shoulder, right? So youngest brother, right? Your 3 older brothers are all athletes, wrestlers, football players, baseball. I mean, pretty much did it all the traditional sports, right?
Absolutely.
And so you kind of followed suit there. I mean, you were in wrestling, but you ended up going to Northern Michigan to play football. Middle linebacker, outside linebacker.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at physique and build.
I was the weak side linebacker,
weak
baby.
Side? So you're the guy that used to get, ain't nobody sweeping on you, man. You're going outside, baby.
Send him in hot.
Yeah.
This kid's not smart enough to do anything else. Let him go run in and crush someone's head.
So you were the Lance Briggs of the Chicago Bears, for those of you listening, right? Weak side linebacker.
Chicago Bears, that's an NFL team, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I don't know if we still have...
UFL, too.
UFL? Is it UFL? CFL, I think it might be. It could be maybe Pop Warner. I'm not sure, but okay, Packers fan, we get it. We get it. But yeah, so up in Michigan, playing football, Division II football. When do we start the journey to snowboarding, though? Because that's a big distraction. You're doing a whole bunch of other stuff.
So one of my older brothers, Josh, him and his friends started the scene in snowboarding in the Upper Peninsula where I live. Luckily, I was very fortunate to grow up next to a ski hill. We had a ski resort. It's about 400 feet tall, so it's not like these big mountains where these guys that I'm competing against now came from. But
well, the Alps is 500 feet, right? So it wasn't that big of a difference.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. But it was like anything. My brother did it. I thought my brother was cool. I followed him. Me and my next oldest brother, Bo, followed him into that and just wanted to do the cool stuff like our older brother. It was just natural.
No, did you skip skiing? You just went right to snowboard?
No, we started skiing. When I was 10 years old, our parents gave us the ultimatum. It was either bowling or skiing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nick, you would have gone with bowling for
bowling all day,
sure.
of course. Yeah.
Well, go to the bowling alley and hang out with more parents.
Yeah.
Or go to the ski hill and have the run of the mill. You had the place to yourself, and you got away from all the rules and stuff, and you got to be derelicts, get in trouble. My dad would have to go out there and get our ski passes back after we'd lose them. It just seemed like more fun.
Yeah.
So we would go and do that and have a good time. So I started snowboarding at 15. Did this local series that went through there my junior and senior year of high school, and I had some luck there. I took on snowboarding and I had some very early success. So I qualified for the Nationals event and was invited to the Nationals out in California. My parents didn't have the money to send me to this event. Plus, I was doing all these other sports and I couldn't, so I had to decline the invitation to go do that. Fast forward, go on to college, go to play football at college, had an absolute blast, which is why I didn't last in college very long. I was a little too immature for college. There was no rules. You know how that goes, right?
You and me both.
Yeah. Never missed a party, never missed football practice, always missed
I always
class.
said to them, just teach the class here. I'm here right now.
Yeah.
Just teach the class here.
Little school life for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And but failing out of college was the best thing that happened to me. I wasn't mature enough for college, and then I went back to my hometown, worked at the ski hill. And then I did the same competition series. And when I qualified for nationals this time, I was working, so I had money. So I was able to go, and I went out to California, and they had snowboard cross. And we didn't have that in our series, so I went to the organizer, and I said, hey, can I sign up for the snowboard cross? He said, well, did someone from your series qualify? And I said, well, we don't really have that event. And he goes, absolutely, sign up for it. And when I pulled out of the gate the first time, I was like, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to find a way to make that my job, and I'm going to do that. And luckily back then we had computers, we had the internet. I'd go to the local library and I would search and I would find any competition that I could, and I would try to get myself able to go to these events. I remember jumping in my car and driving like 35 hours to Mount Bachelor, Oregon to go race, and my parents were like, where are you going to stay? What's going to happen? And I was like, I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Tent.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, in the snowboard scene, everyone was so cool and so accommodating. Like, I was like, I'll meet somebody and we'll be fine. Everything's going to work out. Or I'll sleep in the parking lot.
And I mean this in the kindest way, there is kind of an athletic hippie type of a feel to that community.
Yeah.
Very, very gracious. Like everyone's invited. Like it's kind of like
the stoke.
Yeah,
man.
it's
Everyone's
about
happy.
It's about the adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
It's like everything that I've watched leading up to this, I just see a real positive energy amongst the other racers.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's like that. We're friends for sure. We compete at that moment. But every other time, we're very good friends, and we're rooting each other on. Obviously, I want to whoop your ass, but you're
with
my buddy.
With a smile on my face.
With my smile on my face. And I'll give you a little fist pound after I do it. Maybe a little slap on the rear.
Yeah, while you're crying, no big deal. You're crying, I make a joke, we all feel better. No big deal, you know?
So for 2 years after that, I kind of was like half-assing it, right? I'd go and I'd wait, and I'd do the same series, and I'd go to the One Nationals. And then the next year, I'd go to the One Nationals. I was like, this isn't going to do it.
Yeah, you're kind of toeing the water.
Yeah.
You had to go full in.
Yeah, I was like, you need to go full in. So I had met some kids at my first nationals in Mammoth, California in 2002, maybe. And one of them said, hey, why don't you move out to Colorado and come and live with us? And I was like, oh, absolutely. So I was like, all right, I got everything, got all my ducks in a row. I was working concrete because my goal was to always be a professional snowboarder.
Okay.
The definition of being a professional snowboarder is get paid to snowboard, right?
Yeah.
So no one where I grew up had any advice. There was no mentorship.
That's what I was gonna say.
I had no idea how to do it. So I had
there's
to get,
no team type thing. There's
None
no
of it.
league.
There's no
So
club.
this is like you discover a talent, and if you're going to do something with this, you are truly self-made in regards.
You gotta make it happen.
You become the administrator. You became the marketing. You became communications. You were cold calling, what tournament to go to, doing your own travel. Like you're figuring it all out, while at the same time trying to figure out how to master the sport.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It was definitely, it's not the most ideal way, but I think it's the way that it makes it happen the best.
Yeah.
Right. And it makes the story better. There's no way a book comes out if it didn't start like this.
Yeah.
So I'm 2 weeks from going to move to Colorado. Find out my ex-girlfriend's pregnant.
Oh.
Oh, tell me that's not ready to railroad a dream, right?
Time to make some money.
So I got to figure out what to do. So, that's where I was at. So become a professional snowboarder. Get paid to snowboard. I found a job doing concrete. Terrible job. Hurts. Destroys your body. But when you're young, you can make really good money. Maybe more than you're probably qualified to be getting. So I work all summer. And then in the winter, when it gets crappy weather, they shut it down. And then they lay you off.
So
you call for unemployment, and every week they send you a check. So there I am, getting paid to snowboard, professional snowboarder.
You
That's all I
figured
want.
it out.
Figured it out. A little loophole found in the system, and then, like I said, I was going to move to Colorado with these guys. And 2 weeks before I left, I found out I was going to be a dad, and that kind of changed everything. And it's funny. It was like the worst day of my life. Right? Here's my dream. It's gone. Fast forward. Greatest thing I've ever done.
But in the moment, you're in panic because it's not planned.
It's not planned.
It's not like,
this
hey,
isn't going to work. But I was lucky. My son's mom was like, there's no way you're holding this against me. You're going.
Yeah.
Because that's not on me. I'm not having that. So we figured out a plan. So I went out to Colorado for a month, came home for a month over Christmas, went back for 2 months, 2 or 3 months, and did 3 races. Won 2 of them and got invited to X Games. So here I am. I've been seriously at it for like 6 months, and now I'm already invited to the biggest event.
Freaking crazy.
We didn't have the Olympics. It wasn't in the Olympics at this point. The X Games was the pinnacle of our sport.
Yeah.
That was our Olympics.
And this is 2010-ish?
No. 2004.
Okay.
So 2004, I get qualified for the 2005
You went to
X Games.
That's right.
Yeah, so 2005 X Games, me, my mom, my dad, we jump in a car and we drive out to the X Games. Here's 4 rednecks from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, no business being here. Like, we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And we're in Aspen, Colorado. And we had a cousin that lived there. She knew someone that had a mansion. We're staying in this giant mansion.
Yeah.
And we're just so out of our sorts. We don't know what's going on.
We're really doing it, aren't we, Harry?
Yeah, absolutely.
You had 2 pairs of gloves on this whole time?
Exactly. So, and we show up, and And I just had a blast, man. And I had that competitive side of me. That football player came out. Like, I didn't have the talent that these other guys had, but I wanted it more than any of them, and that leveled the playing field.
So do you approach snowboarding like a middle linebacker mindset? Or like a, yeah.
Back then, I used to.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd get in the gate, and I'd be like, punching myself, and I'm like... These dudes are like, what is wrong with this guy? This guy's crazy. And dude, the first time I met the U.S. snowboard team, when I did that 39-hour drive or 35-hour drive to Mount Baker, Mount Bachelor, Oregon. Yeah, I show up there and I see the U.S. snowboard team, and I'm like, dude, this is crazy. I can't even believe this is happening.
I'm not supposed to be here, but yes, I am.
And I think this was right before that 2005 X Games, and I see the U.S. snowboard team coach and all these guys. I'm like, dude, this is cool. Like, I get a chance to race these guys.
Yeah.
And then I'm standing off to the side, and I overhear the head coach of the U.S. snowboard team look to his team and say, listen to me. Stay away from that dude. He is reckless. And I mean, no bad blood.
Yeah.
He was 100% right.
Yeah.
I could beat every one of them out of the gate because I was strong. And back then, snowboarders just partied and had a good time. I'm coming from traditional sports where I trained.
Yeah.
And I'm a beast compared to them. These are little kids, and I'm like linebacker.
Yeah.
Let's go. And I'd pull out of the gate, I'd make the first turn, and I'd just blow up. And then I'd get back up, and I'd chase him back down, and I'd catch back up to him and eat shit again. And then get back up the third time and go chasing him again. I end up 10th at this big event.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the same...
And you fell 4 times.
Yeah, well, 3, but yeah,
okay.
well, that's long enough ago. Maybe 5, 6 times.
Okay.
The fish got bigger.
Exactly, the fish. But if we do this a year from now, the 2.0, it'll be 15 times you fell.
15 times.
Yeah.
And so it's funny how I first hear the coach telling him to stay away from him because he's reckless. But guess what? It caught his eye. Caught his eye. Here, this is reckless guy. If we can coach him and give him a little bit of technique, we got something. So they ended up inviting me to this camp. I go back to, after that season, I go back to the Midwest, and I get a job with this new concrete company because the company that we were working for before closed their doors, so we had to find a new job. And I'm on day 3 working for this new company in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Union concrete guy. And I get a call from the U.S. snowboard team saying, hey, we want to invite you to snowboard camp, and you're going to be a member of the U.S. snowboard team, and you got a shot to make the Olympics.
This is like 7 months into your...
Yeah.
To your thing.
Well, no, this was the next season.
The next season,
So this is the season of 2004, 2005.
So for all intents and purposes, I mean, at
I'm
the
a year
time,
in.
you're a year into snowboarding. And you're on the Olympic frickin' team.
Well, I'm on not the Olympic team, but I have a shot at making the
it.
Olympics.
Okay.
And it's like...
So there's like there's the team, and then there's like the pool they pull from.
And then, like, it just got named. So this is June of 2005. I get the call to come to camp in Mammoth, California. And it had just made the Olympics. And I didn't have a shot at going to the Olympics for anything that I was doing.
Yeah.
And now here I am. And I got a shot. So I go into the office, and I'm like, you guys, I got a problem. And they're probably like, oh, dude, you've only been working for 3 days,
We
man.
know.
Yeah, you got problems. Yeah.
You've been late every day.
Yeah. So they're like, well, what's the problem? I gave them the whole story. I said, the U.S. snowboard team, they want to invite me to go to camp in Mammoth, California, and I got a shot to make the Olympics. And they're like, well, what's the problem? And I said, well, I just started working for you guys, and I don't have any money.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And they said,
Could we put our logo on your helmet?
yeah. They didn't even do that. They said, what we're going to do for you is we're going to give you I think it was $1,200, and we're going to give you the week off. And
That was awesome of them.
And then we're going to take $100 out of your check each week until you pay it off.
What's the name of that company? Let's drop it.
Martel Construction.
Martel
man.
Construction, you are good people. That's how you run a brand.
Good people, right?
Good people.
Unbelievable. And then I worked for them for the next 2 years. Great company, still tight with them. I'll still stop and see them. Like after I won the medal, when I flew into Green Bay, Wisconsin, I went right to their office and was like, you guys, we did it.
You get a sliver of this.
Yeah, we did it.
Good for you.
It was a part of it, right?
Yeah.
And just an amazing way to have it all happen. And then, so here I am having a shot at trying to go to the Olympics. And unfortunately, I didn't have the points and stuff to be able to go to the Olympic qualifiers. So I really didn't have a shot at the 2006 Olympics in Torino, Italy.
Yeah.
So all my focus was 2010, I'm going to the Olympics. Not only am I going to the Olympics, but I'm going to make some noise, right? So we get going. The next season, I make the team. So I'm on the team for the 2005, 2006 season. And then I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's like if I got soft or if I just got comfortable. I didn't get the results that I wanted.
You got human.
Yeah. And then I got kicked off the team because I didn't have the results to make it. So for 2006, 2007 season, I'm off the team.
I do believe they call that the sophomore jinx. You fight so hard to get on it.
Yeah.
You get on the team and it's like, that's the victory.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh shit, getting on the team wasn't the victory.
Yeah.
There's way
bigger
more to
goal
this.
here.
You probably needed that to happen to relight the fire.
Absolutely. And I think that's what a lot of people think. They look at that failure and they let it railroad them. But that failure was needed to open up my eyes to what I was really trying to do. So then I go out and I'm like, all right. And not only that, but I can't afford to do this. Like, I'm working as a construction. I don't come from a family that has money that can help me on this journey. This is on me, right? So I got to find a way to make this happen. But not only do I have to make it back onto the team, but I need to make it on the A team because that team's fully funded.
Right.
And if I'm not fully funded, this game's over before it even started. So I got to find a way to do this. So that's when I opened up my eyes and started really working hard for this and making it happen. And that year that I wasn't on the team, I didn't have any money to go and do this. So you want to know what I did? And this is a big one for people. If you don't ask the question, the answer is no, right?
Yeah.
I went into the Yellow Pages and I looked at every company on my side of the county and I sent them each a handwritten letter that said, here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it to the Olympics and I want to go there and bring a medal home to this community. Any financial help that you can give me would be great. And to my surprise, money started coming in.
Nick, get the sales team in here.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting because we have
resourcefulness.
So we did a podcast maybe I don't know 3 months ago.
Yeah, it was episode 4.
And what you're saying is directly relevant to sales. Like we talk about the same things.
Yeah.
And it's like we've all been through some of the toughest times, and you either can bail on it or you can just double down on yourself. And it's like I use the exact comment is I used it as fuel.
Yeah, you have to,
So it's
right?
it's interesting. Then you have to ask, right?
Yeah, if you don't ask, the answer is no. If you ask, just maybe.
Yep.
So people started sending in money. I didn't raise a lot of money, but I raised, I don't know, like $2,000. But even
just from an ask.
Yeah, even bigger than the money that came in, it showed me that people were in this with me.
Yeah.
Like they believed in
You
what
had
I
a
was
community.
doing. Like people believe that I can do this. And tell me that doesn't pump some air into your lungs. I'm like, oh, dude, everyone believes in me. We're coming. UP's
Let's go.
coming.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are in trouble.
Right.
We're coming.
Right.
So I go out and I do this race.
You versus the world versus us versus the world has a different ring, right?
does, right?
So you brought the us versus the world thing with you.
And I brought the Midwest work ethic. Man. These people are just they fight for everything that they have. No one gives us opportunities in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
And the name of the town
Yeah.
that you're from has iron in it.
Yeah, Iron River. Yeah,
Literally, Iron River.
built on iron ore mining. Like my grandfather used to go down in the hole when it was dark out and come out of the ground when it was still dark out. He used to call it night. They were night crawlers. They'd go down in the dark, come up in the dark.
Jeez.
Yeah, right. So they worked for everything, and here we are, and they all believing in what I'm doing. So I end up going to a race in Idaho. And I show up there. I go to the race. I got my own coach coming with me. This guy that I just asked, I said, hey, man, can you, like, help me out? He was helping out a team, but I was like, I don't have any money. Like, can you help me? He's like, absolutely, dude, I got you. And he waxed my snowboard for me, and we went out there and we won.
Yeah.
We won that race. And not only did that, like, solidify, like, all right, I got a shot for this, but that win put me on the A team for the next year. I've been fully funded ever since.
It's so cool.
So for the next 18 years, I'm fully funded on the U.S. snowboard team.
It's just absolutely badass. So explain a little bit to us, and you got to talk to me like I'm 6 years old here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't understand. You want to talk golf? I'm with you.
Yeah.
You know, Nick, same thing. But snowboarding is new to me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people listening to this that are probably like, you know, when they think snowboard, they think the kid who smoked pot in their high school, that went, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But this is an athletic sport.
Yeah.
And that's probably the reason why when you came in, because of the athletic prowess from the other sports, being a true athlete, you brought that to the sport. But explain a little bit about, like, what are the tangibles that you absolutely have in order to get the speed that you're looking for? Because if you watch highlights, you guys are like pumping into the ground. You're pumping your legs into the ground. It's really interesting. You're not just like going down the hill and making turns and this and that. Like there's a technique to it.
Yeah, and the easiest way to explain what we do, it's motocross or BMX, but on a snowboard going downhill.
Got it.
And so we're hitting big jumps. We're going over these rollers and these rhythm sections. And so like when you go through a section and there's a bunch of rollers, in order to build speed, what you do is you explode your body up so that when you're going up the hill on the front side, you're not touching the snow, so that you're not losing any momentum going uphill, right?
No shit.
And then when I get to the backside, all that momentum that I threw up, I'm now throwing down. And now I'm on the backside of a hill, but I'm not just on the backside. I'm throwing all that weight and that power down.
Okay.
And now I've created momentum. So when I hit that backside, I create momentum, and it propels me forward.
So,
and then I do it again, and I propel faster and faster.
So early on in this, you're discovering that you have this skill set.
Yeah.
Does that come natural to you? Like you're naturally doing that? Because now on the team, you've got film.
Right.
You've got studies.
Yeah.
You've got algorithms. There's all these things they're showing you like, hey, when you get to this, you got to do this based on what but when you first started out and you're making teams, that's just raw. Or where were you getting this from?
So it comes from the traditional sports that I did ahead of time. I showed up into snowboarding before that was there. Like these kids were partiers.
Yeah.
The guys hanging out at the skate park, just going out there, getting drunk, having fun, and then going and racing the next day.
Yeah.
Well, here I'm coming. Like I've trained for everything that I've made, and I'm coming, and I was like the jock. I was such the outsider. Not to mention I was loud, obnoxious. I rubbed people the wrong way. It drove them nuts. They're like, this guy's an idiot. Like,
That's what it takes.
Like,
Nick and I don't know anything about that.
Right. Yeah. So
I've been kicked out of every room I've ever been in.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was interesting. And then I'm like, they're like, you're a jock. And I'm like, you guys, the only spot, because this sport was pretty young at that time, there's only one way for it to go. As it gets better, people are going to start training. Equipment's going to get better. It's only going to get faster.
Yeah.
So, and now everyone is training year round. I mean, you got kids training from the time that they're like 10 years old for this. And then they get to the minimum age where you're allowed to play the sport at 15. And they've been at it for years. So it's completely changed. And I guess I was just on the front end of that. I was just different. I come from football, and snowboarding and football were my favorite sports in high school. And now I found the combination of the two. You mix the two together, and it was like the perfect thing.
So you're high energy, man.
Yeah.
And high energy people crash.
Yeah. Oh, I crashed.
Okay,
so much.
And I'm not talking about physical crashing. I'm talking about mental crash.
Yeah.
Like you go.
Yeah.
How did you manage that? Because it's like you keep hitting these marks, and it's like you got to fight your ass off to get there. Yeah. And then the natural human thing to do would be like to let the air out a little bit and be like, I'm here.
Yeah.
But then you got to kick it in another gear to do that. So how do you manage that mindset? Which we've talked about all the time, Nick. Like everything stems from mindset.
Yep.
Like, how do you manage those crashes?
Back then I didn't. I mean, I was a mess. I was a spastic
Now
idiot.
that is authentic vulnerability right there.
Yeah. I mean, you fail and you learn from it, right? You either learn from it or you let it destroy what you're doing. And I guess over the years I learned from it. And now it's always the top of one mountain's the bottom of the next. You have to have that next goal ready to go so that when you knock this goal out, you're already looking at the next one. If you don't have that next one in place, you're going to crash.
Yeah.
You're going to and you're going to let off for a second. And when you let off, what happens? You get passed from the people behind you.
Yeah.
If you want to stay on top, you got to have that scheduled out. You're like, when I knock this goal out, it's just automatically, I'm on the next goal, and then the next goal, and the next goal. And if you don't have those there, you're going to find those stagnant places in your career. And sometimes that's going to knock you down, and it's going to be the end of it.
Nick, are you Nick Verzillo? You write out goals? Do you write them out?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
You have to.
You
have to.
I do it every day. I mean, going back to that point, I write it out every day because I don't know how else you balance your day. So speaking of crashing, I'm sure you had some rough.
Oh,
I don't know how many bones you broke. I'm sure there's
To be honest, I'm built for crashing. So
a little bit.
So I've had some success where my body holds itself together.
Yeah.
But the X Games when I won in 2011, 12 days before I broke my collarbone.
Yeah.
I got 15 screws and a plate put in 12 days before, and then won.
That's awesome.
It's one of the greatest stories of my career. Are you kidding?
I would have been in a room sucking my thumb.
No, you wouldn't.
We were just built different.
No, you wouldn't have. Well, I am a little bit because a lot of people wouldn't have went out there.
Yeah. That's
But when you get out there and you get into a gate, it changes everything. Adrenaline is the greatest drug on this planet.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, you want pain relievers? Go do something crazy. And your body takes over and fixes it for you.
It's like the movie, the arm wrestling movie with
Over the Top.
Over the top.
You turn my head, and
turn to the truck.
I need that truck. I need that truck.
I love that movie. So
the wrestlers in that, they're like drinking motor oil, chewing on a cigarette. I see that in you.
Yeah. Well, listen, I take that as a compliment.
Yeah,
I love it.
I think more blood sport. Jean-Claude Van Damme in his eye, and he's just still fighting.
Okay, USA. Dukes, like, put up your dukes. Okay, USA. Oh, yeah. Great movies.
That's
So
awesome.
you're standing at the top, and you said the very first one that you did, you dropped in, and you're like, this is it.
This is it.
All right.
Yeah.
So now every race that you've had after that has been of substance, like one of the bigger ones, that's meant something.
Yeah.
You're standing there. What's the ritual, the routine, the inside talk?
When are we talking?
Now, that's what I'm saying.
We talking 2010 or are we talking 2022?
Well, let's give us the way that it's modified. 2010. What are you saying to yourself?
Holy shit!
Okay.
I'm at the Olympics.
Yeah.
This is the biggest event I've ever seen, and I like to think that I was man enough and strong enough to just I'm not gonna. The pressure's not gonna get to me. I'm fine, dude. I go to the Olympics and I'm like, dude, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
$48 billion spent.
Yeah, everyone's watching. It's not just like a couple people.
Yeah.
The world's watching.
The world is watching.
And like when I walked out into opening ceremonies, completely changed my life. Like when you're watching a sad movie and you're like holding in that tear because you're
I'm not gonna cry.
I'm not gonna cry. Dude, I don't care what it is. I cry watching a commercial. I go watch my kid play basketball, and he's like dribbling the ball, and one of the teammates makes it in the basket, and everyone's like, "Yeah, it's so cute," and I'm bawling my eyes out.
My kid can dribble.
Yeah, and I'm bawling.
Yeah,
and it made me so vulnerable.
Yeah.
Going out and representing my country, my
Was
family.
that a new? That was a whole new emotion for you, probably,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, because you're
growing
a
up
tough
with
guy, man.
growing up
Yeah.
with brothers. Your dad
Alpha
was a
male,
tough
dude.
guy.
Yeah.
Right. All your
Midwest
your
tough guys,
ancestry
too.
is crawling out of holes with iron in their hand, going,
Yeah.
"Don't worry, I've got it.
Yeah, and we're in the Midwest. Like
We can build the bridge."
we're not hugging each other. I don't go and hug my dad. He's like, "Whoa, weird.
Get away.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
Yeah. So that vulnerability doesn't come out. Now it's coming out.
Yeah.
And it's
Is it
probably one of the-
liberating? Is it kind of set
It's
you
the
free a
greatest
little
thing
bit?
ever.
Yeah.
Like,
all right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
like,
cool.
That it's important.
Yeah.
Especially for me.
If you make fun of him, though, he will swing on you.
Yeah.
I think it's
I'll
kids.
either cry or beat you up, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something.
I might cry while beating you up. I don't know.
Well, like having kids, I think you become more emotional.
Way more emotional,
right?
for sure.
So speaking of that, I was going to ask you, how was that journey having a child going through this process? I mean, I know you've probably traveled everywhere, I would imagine, at all times. So
yeah, it was absolutely very tough. Luckily, so I didn't come from a family that had lots of money and we weren't rich, but in lessons we were rich.
Yeah.
My parents, I'm very fortunate to grow up the way I grew up. I had, like I said, 3 older brothers myself. We adopted my sister when she was 2 and I was 3, and then that opened up our doors to foster care. They were like, all right, well, these people take kids, so like throw kids at them.
Yeah.
We'd have 3 kids at a time at all times. Like all the roughest people in town couldn't handle their kids. They're on drugs, alcohol, all these problems. My mom would, and not only would she take the kids, my dad worked on the road, by the way. He was on the road from Monday until Friday. Wow. And
So
my
your mom took him in.
She's handling 4 of me.
What's your mom's name?
Mary.
Well, that's the
she's a
appropriate
saint.
name.
Yeah, she's a saint.
I mean, talk about being named the right.
Exactly.
Wow, Mary, good on you.
Yeah,
Incredible.
what an amazing woman. And so we're taking in all these kids, and my mom, it's not enough to just save these kids, right? My mom is setting up meetings for the parents to come to our house. My mom sits them down and lectures them, has talks with them, sets up these things to like, this is how you're going to get your kids back. Like, we're going to work together to make this happen. And I'll tell you what, as a kid, like when, like there's so many people in my house already. And we grew up in a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath house. Like there wasn't room for all this, but we just did it. And then like, I'm like, this is my mom. Like, what are you kidding? Like, this isn't your mom. It's my mom.
Yeah.
But you learn these lessons throughout all that. And I mean, over the years, I taught so many kids how to ride a bike for the first time.
That's awesome.
How cool is that?
That's cool.
And these lessons learned has helped me throughout my career in so many ways.
So that's helped you to stay level. So 2010, you're standing on top. You're like, oh,
yeah.
my Lord, what have I gotten myself into?
Yeah.
You know, the waterworks are happening.
Yeah.
You're just trying to just get through the race.
Yeah.
Now let's go to 2016ish in that range.
Yeah. So
how's the mindset change?
So 2010, and we might as well just go in 4-year blocks.
Just
Let's go
do
to
it.
2014 because that's the next Olympics.
Nobody
right?
ever learned me math.
Yeah. So this,
I ain't learnt no math yet.
yeah, that math ain't mathin'. So 2010 first Olympics, then I go to my second one in 2014, and I go there and I'm like, all right, we're gonna fix everything that happened at the last one. I'm gonna dominate here. I'm one of the top riders. I've had great success. I've medaled at World Championships. I've had all this great things happen. I got X Games gold medal, X Games silver medal. Like, we're gonna make this happen. And I show up there, and it's one of my worst sporting performances of my life, both in 2010 and 2014, which, by the way, are the prime ages to be successful in my sport. 28 to 32. I was 28 in 2010, 32 in 2014. Both of them, I didn't make it through the first round. It was terrible. And yeah.
Now, are you cataloging those thoughts? Like, are they?
I'm overthinking everything.
Yeah.
Man.
So like you're standing there, and it's like 1 minute till race, and you're standing there, and you're like getting the goggles on, and are you running through this catalog in your head where you're like, I worked my ass off, I'm good enough, I did this, I did. My mom used to take in people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you
Not
like
all
going
that,
through that,
but
but are like
there's
are you
thoughts.
kind of trying to tell yourself like, hey, I'm entitled to this, I deserve this, it's okay for me to win? You know what I mean? There can be that
kind of
that afraid of success. Like, am I worthy of this?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. Did you have any of that battle?
I mean, I was definitely thinking like, okay, like I'm at the prime age, like I should have the best opportunity here.
Yeah.
But to be honest, at those Olympics, the weather was terrible. Like, it was pouring rain. They canceled our qualifying because I couldn't see you. It was so much fog. And then they canceled qualifying, and then they put us into heats. The next day we go out there and we race training. Training goes awesome, man. I'm just doing so good. Me and my 3 teammates are racing together, and I'm flying. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be completely different.
Yeah.
And then it starts dumping snow from the top of the mountain to turn 1. These flakes that are like 1.5 inches wide, just monster flakes. And we're sitting there, and in hindsight, we would have said something, but they do forerunners where they let people go out in front of you and they make the track. And because I'm in the first heat, all the kids got hurt because the track in Russia was so huge, and they only had their young kids out there to forerun, and every day they're getting carted off on carts. And
The kids are.
Oh, the kids. Oh, yeah. So they got 2 kids left.
Jesus.
2 kids left, and they put them out of 2 different gates. No one went out of my gate. We get in the gate drops. I pull out of the gate, and I go nowhere. Like, it's like pulling out onto Velcro, and everyone's gone. By the first corner, I'm like, I don't know, 50 feet behind everybody. And I'm like in my head, not here.
Yeah, not
this
here.
This can't
Yeah.
happen. So I hit turn 1, it turns to rain again. And my wax takes off again, and I'm gone. And I catch up to everybody, and it was too late. I'd made a last-ditch effort in the second to last turn. My day's done. I'm at the bottom, right? And the reason I tell that story is because at first I was like, I can't believe, like, the wax. I mean, it was more than that. The weather changed. There were so many variables. No one went out of my gate. Like, what's going on? And I want to badly blame it on something else. And internally you have to find a way to find that blame on yourself, or you're not going to grow from this. You're not going to learn from this experience. If you blame an external thing for you not doing well, you've ruined your chance at learning from this, and you're not going to grow as an
That's
athlete.
amazing, because there's probably a balance there too, right?
Yeah.
Of like, you gotta be hard on yourself and be real.
Yeah,
But
you
you
have
can't
to.
let it get to you either.
Yeah.
Like
so,
you-
I mean, but afterwards I had to, because I'm like, now I'm hungrier than ever.
Yeah.
The next Olympics, like, I have to perform. And like, I didn't know how long my career was going to last. 32
You're
years
32
old, right?
at that point, which that's your last
Like,
so-called
in your prime, right?
year.
So it's like
Right.
I might not make it to another Olympics. Some people only make one Olympics.
Yeah.
And here I am trying to make it to a third. At 36 years old, I'll be at that next Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea in 2018. So I'm like, all right, so I needed to do some digging, and I needed to figure out what happened. What could I have controlled there? And what I came to was, I didn't put as much work in the off season. I didn't eliminate all doubt. Like, when you do every rep, every workout, you don't skip
You go,
anything.
there's no way I could lose this.
Yeah.
I'm so prepared.
Yeah.
Like, I've thought of everything. I've
Yeah.
done everything.
I didn't do
Like,
that.
I
didn't do that.
So then you-
So I was like, no. What the problem was, I mean, there was all these other things that happened, but the problem was me.
Okay.
I didn't show up prepared. And for your listeners, how do you handle nerves? Preparation. If you're prepared and you've done everything in your power, you can control the nerves. If you haven't, that's just because you didn't prepare. If you're nervous and it cripples you, you did not prepare. You did not do what you were supposed to do. So I needed to find a way to do that. And that's when luckily I had the longevity in my career to learn from that, because that's when I became dangerous.
So that's why they say, like, with a football player
Yeah.
that comes into the draft, they go, oh, he's playing slow. And you're like, how the hell is he playing slow? He ran a 4.340. It's because he's not prepared. He doesn't know the playbook.
He doesn't, there's so
So
much.
he's having to think.
Yeah.
So you needed to get yourself into a point where it was just all muscle memory reaction, and you weren't having to think.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta get to that point, or you're never gonna see that success that you want. Yeah, you can get lucky once in a while, and I won the X Games. Great.
Yeah.
Good job. But it's not gonna happen, especially at a level
Sustained.
of the Olympics. Yeah, it's not gonna keep happening. So I needed to figure out a way to do it. Figured it out, and then I started working. And I think that's when my career completely changed.
All right, so we're gonna go. We're gonna go just here, just real quick, just a mid thing here. First off, the cover of this is absolutely beautiful. Gold from Iron. Those of you that are listening to this, Gold from Iron, a humble beginning, Olympic dreams, and the power in getting back up. There's the book. If you want to play along, you can go on and you can buy this book right now, and it's going to light you up. There's actually pictures in the middle of this book from his childhood. There's pictures of him with his family. There's pictures of him growing up in his wrestling singlet and all kinds of
That's
stuff.
me and the guy who invented the sport, Sean Palmer.
Shit.
That's the guy I watched in 1992. That guy was dubbed by USA Today the greatest athlete on the planet. So watching him is what got me into this sport. And then I had to try to beat him out for my first Olympics.
But I think you can hear Nick's energy level that went into the book. So, and the person who wrote this book with Nick did an interview of Nick,
Yeah.
and did such a fantastic piece and titled it so well that Nick called him up and said, hey, look, people keep telling me I should write a book. I probably should do that. Like, would you be interested in doing this? And the guy's reaction was,
Fuck yeah, I want in. And tell me that doesn't give you.
I mean,
like, I'm like, all right, this guy's 100%.
are you serious, Clark?
Yeah, yeah. Because if he would have been like, well, yeah, maybe this would be cool, like, it wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah.
He was 100% in, and that
And
just
you're
gave
an
me so
all-in
confident.
guy. You're an all-in guy. You're either in or you're not in.
Yeah,
You're
but
an
at
all-in
this
guy.
point, I was like, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah, why am I doing this?
Someone's wants me to write a book?
Yeah.
Like, never in my life did I think I'd have a book about myself. And then now I found this guy, Jeff Seidel from the Detroit Free Press. I'm telling you what, this guy is an Olympic champion for what he does. On his end, he is the best.
Shout out,
Yeah.
Jeff Seidel.
Yeah, he's
Look
the
him
guy.
up. Read
his stuff, you guys, man. When I read that story that he wrote about me in 2018, so we fast forward to the next Olympics. I go there at 36, and not only do I go there at 36, but my son's going to be at that games. And the first race my son came to watch was at X Games that I won 12 days after surgery. I won it because he was at the bottom.
So he's it,
right?
He's your
changes it.
He's
It's
your
like,
driver.
no way someone's beating me to my son. Are you kidding me? No, not a chance. So I go out there and I'm trying to finally get this medal. And I go through the rounds. I make it all the first ones. I was out the first round. Make it all the way to the finals on this one. Here I am standing at the top in the finals. Got the smile on my face. I'm happy. I'm having fun. Pressure had gone away because I had trained properly. I had done everything that I could, and I'm ready to go. Yeah. And I go out there and I end up crashing. Me and the three guys in the back, we end up launching off of this jump behind everyone. We're in the draft, which draft is a big thing in our sport.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right?
It's good unless it's bad.
Well, it's like
bad in this case.
But isn't it you slingshot, right? That you're catching their draft.
For sure.
I think I just used a Days of Thunder reference, right?
Yeah. No, I think Talladega Nights.
Talladega. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was we got slingshotted off and we shot about, 30 feet past the landing.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. And if you had us mic'd up, it would have sounded like we were going down an airplane. We're all screaming,
just a crash.
Oh shit, oh my God, no! And then we hit the ground and I get up first, so I end up fourth. I get up first and chase those guys down, end up fourth place. And I'll tell you what.
What was broken?
Nothing. I bruised my heel pretty bad. I strained my knee. I was limping pretty badly, but fourth. What if you were the fourth best podcast in the whole world? It's pretty.
I'd take that all freaking day.
It's pretty awesome, right?
I would take
fourth
100th.
best doctor in the world, right?
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
Yeah,
fourth place at the Olympics.
Not with your son there.
Sucks.
Yeah,
it's the worst place to be because you want to know why?
You're one off.
First, second, and third completely changes your life.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth place,
forgotten.
See you next time.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I'm 36 years old. Next time I'm 40. What are the chances of making the Olympics at 40?
Give a little hope to these 40-year-olds.
Yeah, right.
Let's go.
Yeah,
because the story's just getting good.
Yeah. So and then I take I get out and my son's my crutch. I got my arm over my son and he's my crutch as I'm limping. And I throw my jersey on him and
he's like 13, 14 at the time.
13 I think. Yeah. 13 or one of the two. Yeah. And we're walking through the media because I put this bib on him so no one would question it. They're like, oh yeah, he must be on the team.
Yeah.
Let him go. And we go through all the media and we do my interviews and we get to the print media and that's where I meet Jeff Seidel for the first time. And he's asking me all these questions and he's firing questions off and I can't help but think like, dude, like rude. Let some of these other people ask some questions.
But he's like hyper curious.
And he's so passionate. I'm like, I'm not telling this guy anything. I'm going to answer these questions and we're feeding off each other. And then the article comes out. And I read this article about this 36-year-old concrete worker who shares fourth place finish at Olympics with son. And I am bawling my eyes out.
And he was supposed to write that article in the gracious way that he did. Yeah. Because it was going to change his life too. He didn't know it yet.
Yeah.
But it was going to change. That's going to change his life too.
Yeah.
Because I think when other people read this, they might be calling him up going, hey, can you write mine?
Yeah. Well, they're going to see it. Like, it is so impressive. And just when that article came out, it was like, that was my medal. I took fourth place, but I got a medal. And it was that article that Jeff Seidel wrote.
That's
badass. And so cool. And then I go and I do when I'm doing my interviews and they're asking me, they're like, are you done? Because every interview or every Instagram post before this, I'm like hashtag the last dance. Like, this is it. This is the end.
That's what you were saying.
That's what I was saying. I was like, this is the end. I'm making one final run at it.
In the Super Bowl and done.
And then I was done. I took fourth place. And they're like, so are we going to see you again? And all that hardened in me. And I'm like, absolutely, I'm not done. I'll do this until I'm 100. If I need to get one of those medals and I need to bring it home. So I vowed to make one final run at the Olympics for 2022. And I'll tell you what, like, I had a lot of people that supported me, but when you tell people that you're going to try to make the Olympics at 40 years old, in a sport like snowboarding that's dominated by youth.
Like, good luck, man.
Yeah, like, you don't, man, sure. You're crazy. Something wrong with this guy. Well, yeah, guess what? I am
construction
crazy.
Is doing well these days. I don't know if you want to get back into that.
Yeah, well, and this whole time, I'm still pouring concrete all summer to be able to afford this dream.
Yeah.
Work all summer, bank that money, waste it all summer, or not waste it, but use it all up chasing this dream, right? So definitely we're going to make a run at it. And I do 2 more years, And then or the year before my Olympics, so that would be 2021. Obviously, everyone knows life got really crazy and interesting in 2020 through the pandemic. Something happened
What's
there.
he talking about?
Yeah, we lost 2 years. Remember 2 years of our lives?
No idea.
I think the Bulls had a bad season. I don't know.
Bears made it to the
crazy.
NFL.
Bears,
Listen, the world shut down, but not for sports. They kept sports alive.
they were fine.
No, it was crazy. Like, we would go to resorts, $1 million resorts in other countries, and it was shut down. They would turn it on for just us.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like, I'm like, this is like the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's like I Am Legend, where Will Smith's walking around the city and there's
just by himself.
empty.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was the craziest thing. But then right before that Olympics, I meet a guy. He shoots me a DM in my Instagram, and he's like, "Hey, man, my name's Dustin Branchow. I run Advantage Sports Training in Marquette, Michigan, which is an hour and a half from where I live." And he says, "I think we can really help you with your with what you're trying to do for this next Olympics." And he said, "Can you come up here and come see the gym and let's have a little conversation?" And I was like, "Absolutely, dude." So I go to summer training camp in Mountain Hood, Oregon, and then I come back from that and I show up at his gym. And first thing I walk in, the school that I played football at is in that town.
Okay.
And he's got all the college football players doing their off-season training there.
So he's just helping guys like get to the combine. It's like 40 high jumping, right? Just
well, back then he was doing the whole team.
Yeah.
Right. And then he does some amazing things with training people for the combine. They broke records at the last two combines.
It's like a lot of quick twitch muscle, right? Like
which I need because all my fast twitch muscles have. I'm 39 years old.
Yeah.
They died. They died on me.
Yeah.
They're not there.
I'm 49. I'm in pain right now from podcasting, so I understand.
Yeah. So I walk in. The first thing I see is this guy that broke the record at the combine last year. He jumped 46 inches. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's 2 inches off of 4 feet.
Yeah, and that's
for the record.
It's insane. But when he's doing this, I think what he does, I can't remember what it was, but it was taller than he was. He does an approach jump onto a box.
Yeah.
And he jumps over. It's the first thing I see when I walk in the gym. And I was like, yep.
I'm in.
I need to come here. And then I talk to Dustin, and he tells me what they're doing. He explains how we're going to do it. He says, you need to get up here as many times as you can a week. And I was like, absolutely, because the dynamic that I needed is I needed that kind of knowledge and everything that they were doing at the gym, but I needed those young stud athletes because I'm going to work way harder, because the last thing I want to do is show up and who's this old dude?
What's with the old
What's
dude?
up with the old dude? Like, I don't want to do that. So I push it to another level. And it's funny because then they feed off of me, because then I start doing some stuff that they're like, dude,
watch this.
There's no way I'm getting beat by someone my parents' age.
You got this happening right now.
So we're feeding off each other. Yeah. So I figure out a way to go up there 4 days a week. So I actually move out to, or I go out to Colorado where my brother is. He's a builder out in Aspen, Colorado, crushing it. And I said, Josh, I need to find a way to be able to train all summer and not have to pour concrete. I can't do this. He said, well, come out here. I can make more money out there. So in a month, I made a ton of money. And then I went back home and I just trained all summer. I got an old crusty van that my brother gave me from a service master that he was working for.
Yeah.
He got this old crusty van and he gave it to me. And I put a bed in it because hotels in this town in the summer are like $300 a night.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So I'm going to live in my van with my dog every Monday night. Every Monday and Thursday morning, I'd get up at 9 a.m. I would drive an hour and a half to Marquette, Michigan. I would train at the gym. And then after training, I would eat at the gym. And then I would go straight to the mountain bike trails and put like 4 or 5 hours in on my mountain bike, right? And then I would go to Lake Superior, one of the greatest lakes in the, I mean, that thing's healing. Jump in this, I mean, middle of the summer, it's still freezing cold water. So I jump in, I soak off, let the dog swim around, and I'm like recovering. And then we'd go park the van somewhere. We'd go park the van somewhere and sleep in it. I mean, many times I got...
Yeah, who needs science? The earth provides.
Yeah. Well, except for when you park your van, like homeless people can build a shelter and stuff in the middle of a city.
Yeah.
I can't park in an empty parking lot because it's not allowed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got kicked out of parking lots. It was crazy. And then we ended up finding this old airport, and they were building houses around it, but the old runway was still sitting there. So we'd park in the middle
on
of
the
it.
runway?
Yeah, it was all gravel and not
love it.
and grown over. So we would sleep there, and we did that all summer long. And then when I ran out of money in the fall, I went back and worked for my brother for another month so that money would float me through the Olympics, and I didn't have to worry about my bills. I could just be fully focused on the task at hand. And
That's awesome.
And I go out there at just before my 40th birthday, and I take third on the test event on the Olympic track in November of 2021. And I'm like, dude, I've never podiumed at the first race of the season, ever. It's always because
It's always a buildup.
it's a buildup. And then
Yeah.
at the end, I'd get some podiums.
Yeah.
And I immediately do that. And then we go to the next race in Austria. And I take second at the next race. 39 years old, right? And then
So you're seeing immediate results from this training that you did.
medium.
Wait,
medium.
good on you, Dustin.
And because I trained so hard, again, each time I've had the longevity to learn from my mistakes. I could sit here and tell you guys that I'm a badass and I worked hard every time. No, I didn't. I made mistakes. I did stupid shit,
Human.
and I learned from it. And then I tried to do it better, and I tried to do it better. And luckily, I had the longevity to find that performance to where I needed to be. And with Dustin's help at Advantage, we got it done. And we went out there and we saw the results. And I'm like, people are like, what the what's
What is
going on? These
happening?
younger kids on the team were like, there's no way this
Getting better
guy's
with
going
age,
to make
yeah.
it.
They're checking your neck for bolts, and
Yeah.
this guy's an android. What is happening?
So it's all working out, right? We
Yeah.
go to the third Olympic qualifier. It's funny. It's my 40th birthday in Trevigna, Italy. 40th birthday. For some reason, I got bib 40. Like, what's the universe trying to tell me, right? I go out there. Guess what my qualifying time is?
Don't even.
40.40. Like, what is the
crazy.
universe
Okay.
trying to tell me?
All right,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
actually
crazy.
that's a sign,
I was
yeah.
telling you this the
Yeah.
other day. I
Yeah.
get numbers. I keep getting 444 in a row.
Yeah.
444, 444 all the time. Like I'll create something. I'll look at it. A couple hours later, I have 444
Yeah.
views on it, and then I'll go in my car. The last 3 digits of my mileage is 444, and
Yeah.
it'll be like within an hour.
It's crazy,
Like
isn't
what?
it?
What are you trying to tell me?
And that's what I was like. I was like, what's the universe trying to tell me? Unfortunately, on that day, it was telling me that I was too slow and I wasn't going to get I wasn't going to get to race. I didn't qualify for the finals. But I didn't care, dude.
Yeah.
I'm already locked in for the Olympics.
Hey, the universe is talking to you. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's good in itself.
Unfortunately, the universe was laughing at
Yeah,
me.
eventually it's going to say something nice, though.
So I didn't care. I was like, that doesn't matter, dude. I'm already qualified for the Olympics.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Olympics, and I'm racing at a
Now,
level.
this is
I'm-
Beijing.
Yeah. This is the best season of my career.
Yeah. And you're going in with that momentum.
Going in with that momentum. So we go back home. COVID's still going on. Christmas, I go home for Christmas, and I'm not allowed to go see my family because if I get COVID,
You're out.
you're out.
Right.
It's not like, oh, you got a cold, wait 2 weeks and you can go. No, you're done. You're done. You're not allowed to go. So I had to hide from my family. So I'm sitting at home by myself with my dog, my kids at his mom's house. My family's over here, and I'm not allowed to do anything.
I've never hid from my family. I've had them hide from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if you know where they are, please send a note.
Yeah, but it's just a weird time in our life,
That's
right?
crazy.
It's just crazy. So, and then our next races are in Russia in January. And I call my coaches and I was like, listen, because Russia had this rule that if you got COVID while you were in Russia, you weren't allowed to leave until you tested negative. And the one thing I know, we didn't know what that meant. We didn't know what that meant. Some people could test negative in a week. Some people took 3 months.
It means that you could have been fighting for the Russian army in the Ukraine war.
Yeah, who knows, right? And I'm like,
you can't leave. Here, wear this.
yeah. And I didn't want to get stuck there. It was on far eastern Russia, so it was grueling to get there. It would have just completely beat me down, and it just, to me, it didn't seem like the right choice. So I decided to stay home while my team went to Russia and train. And for me, I wasn't allowed to go to the gym. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I had to hide so that I didn't.
You're in quarantine.
I'm in quarantine. I'm stuck at my house. And I could believe the excuse that I couldn't train, or I could do something about it, right? You either believe the excuse or you find a way to make it
You know
happen.
how many people would have been like, oh, I can't, so I'll just chill out.
Yeah, I'll chill out. Everything's going to be fine, and we'll get it done.
Nobody else is doing anything either, so I'll just chill, right?
So I needed to find a way to train at my house. And I could, like I said, I could believe the excuse that I don't have anything, I can't do it, quarantine, whatever the excuse is. Believe the excuse or fucking get it done. So what I did is I got a shovel and a snowblower, and I snowblowed all the snow from the interior of my yard to the exterior perimeter. I'm on a 1/4 acre, right? Dead flat. There's no hills. There's no nothing. And use what you know. So I went over to my neighbor's barn and I grabbed a bunch of concrete basement forms. And I set up this big U-style thing, 8 feet tall, and I snowblowed all the snow from the plow.
Like, hey, can I borrow your snow?
Yeah. No, but all the snow from the plow on the side, I mean, it was like this tall and like rock hard. And I'm just blowing my snowblower into it and blowing all this into that. I make an 8-foot tall cube of snow.
Around your house?
No. I do this cube at the start.
Okay.
And that was going to be my
That's
start
the drop
ramp.
in.
That's the drop in so I can get going.
Got it.
Right? And then I keep blowing. It snows again the next day and I snow blow enough. I got this beautiful staircase that goes up. People around the corner and they're like, what in the hell is this guy doing?
I bet he's gonna build a snowman.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens here.
Let's see.
No, he's putting lights up, man.
Yeah, no one knows what I'm doing. And
like-
they're all like snapping their neck as they drive by, rubberneck, and like
14 mailboxes taken out.
Yeah. What is he doing?
Yeah.
And so all that snow that I blew the perimeter, then I start making these rollers because the end of the track on the Olympic track is all a straight line of rollers. And I'm like,
rollers are like moguls, right?
moguls. And then you have to, you pump these rollers and that generates more
so you don't get
speed.
too much air. You got to stay on.
You stay on the ground.
Yeah.
So you every one that you pump right, you gain speed.
Got it.
And there's no way I'm going to let someone pass me there. And if I'm behind, I'm going to pass someone there. So I need to make sure that I got it. So I build this pump track around my entire yard. And it's so funny because everyone's driving by like thinking I'm crazy, and I'm giggling and laughing, and I build this beautiful track. And when I'm done, I got this great thing. I'll go outside in the morning and I'll run 10 laps around the track until I'm like dead.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back inside and I'll jazzercise in front of the TV, my dog like biting me and playing around. And then I go back out there and I do it again. And yes, having the training grounds was great, but it's not the only reason I did it. So building this for 30 hours was a hell of a workout, right?
Another workout.
Yeah.
Damn good workout.
Again.
Now I got this great training track.
Yeah.
But the best thing, the biggest reason I did it is I could have sat at home in my house and thought about the pressure and the stress and everything that was going to come with the Olympics, right? Oh, everyone's counting on me, all this stuff, and it could have torn me down. Instead, I decided to go outside and build a snow fort like an 8-year-old kid, giggling and laughing and having fun.
Yeah.
Not thinking about the biggest race of my life, just having fun. And it allowed to keep my mental game way stronger than just letting myself spin out thinking about it, right? So it was like the perfect case scenario. And now I'm so strong on rollers because that's all I did. For the whole time, everyone's
these
traveling
guys
all over the world.
These guys you're training against are in the Alps. They're in mountains.
No, they're in Russia.
But I mean, they're other teams, right?
Yeah,
they're
sure.
they're at the biggest hills and mountains in their countries, whatever. And you are in suburban Michigan, running
laps,
running laps around your house, and then go compete at the highest level. It's crazy.
And I 100% will say it right now, and I will claim it. That track is the reason why I won my end of the race.
Boom.
That is why I beat those guys, because they were right on my tail. And I'm telling you, there were so many passes on that ending because they're using draft, they're using everything, and they're pumping alongside me. There's a 20-year-old kid alongside me. I'm 40 years old.
Yeah.
But guess what? I pumped his ass.
I love it.
And I got to that finish line first, and it's because of that. It's because I didn't believe the excuses, and I found a way to make it happen. Boom.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, how many places have you been? Have you heard in the last 59 minutes the amount of places that this man has seen from rural Michigan, up by the border of Canada practically, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, think of all these places. Just
I know.
This is unbelievable.
I've been to Italy. That's it.
Yeah.
A couple times.
And until I went my first international trip with the U.S. snowboard team, first I'd been is Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota, which was 4 hours away.
What's crazy is to think for a second about how much you've done for snowboarding.
Yeah.
But then when you hear your story, it's how much snowboarding has done for you.
100%.
And that combination, so you keep just paying it back, and it keeps paying you back, and it's a love affair.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like people are like, dude, you're a legend. You've done, and I'm like, dude, I'm just having fun.
Yeah,
like I'm out there chasing my dream. I don't feel like everyone's like, dude, what you did was so crazy. I don't think I did anything crazy. All I did was not give up, which is great. But I mean,
did you ever like have a point where you looked back and you're like, wow, like.
Yeah,
I can't believe I did all this. Like was there ever a feeling where it just set in? Like when you sat in your house and you're like, okay, like I put my name out there. I put the country on my back.
Yeah.
Because I got to imagine holding a flag. Like I'm looking at this picture, and that has to be the most like just surreal feeling of like everybody watch me, and I'm carrying this flag, and I got it for everybody. I did it for you guys. Because I mean, in the end, I understand that it's personal. You love it. You had a good time.
Absolutely.
But like you said, when you met, or that when people were giving you money, and you're like, wow, like we're gonna do this.
We're gonna do this. And my biggest thing, like I used to speak at schools before this all happened, and I always said, you guys, I'm gonna go get us a medal, and I'm bringing it home. And when I bring it home, I'm going to bring it back to every one of these schools, and I'm going to share this with you guys. And it's like I made a promise to them, and it was, I mean, it's like, yes, because I wanted to, and it was like, I want you guys to hold me accountable. I'm going to work hard because I told you I was going to do this. So, so we went out.
So that point of you saying it's about having fun, our CEO, Tim, was sitting in the office with us 2 days ago. We're talking to somebody that we're looking at partnering with in a strategic manner.
Yeah.
And, it was kind of going back and forth about negotiation. And the gentleman asked our CEO a really, really amazing question about like how he thinks about money.
Yeah.
And Tim goes, it's amazing when I stopped worrying about money, how much money I started making.
Yeah.
And I think if you take that thought process and you put it to, you stopped worrying about all the stuff around you and focused on how do I have as much fun as I can and be as prepared as I can.
Yeah.
It's almost like you just set yourself free.
But if you're not prepared, it's almost impossible to have fun because
that was the thing.
It's so hard. Like everything's against you. Everything's like, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened. If you were prepared, it wouldn't have happened and you would have had a good time. And when you're having a good time, you're smiling like this, right? And when you smile, you do better.
Good energy comes out. And I got to tell you, the key to that is to make the preparation fun.
Yeah.
Because if the only thing is fun is the outcome of winning, and all the other stuff is a drag, and it's like painful, whatever, it's all the boring BS that you have to do, that you have to find a love affair with.
Right.
So it sounds like that's what you did. The training with Dustin, all the little, the challenging against these younger athletes and them pulling you and you're pushing them and that grind mentality, and it just got you fired up and you had so much fun. And meanwhile, you're sleeping on a freaking airport runway in a van with a dog, like Chris Foley.
Yeah.
A van down by the river.
Yeah.
It's literally, this is a Netflix documentary. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Like this is it's cool because I've seen other documentaries similar.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how do you drive in a van, sleep, just get up, go do your thing? Like,
no, it's a freaking movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's insane. It's crazy to me because I know that the goal of everybody is always to be stable and have a family and have a house and all that stuff and kids, right? Yeah. But your goal was totally different. I mean, it's beyond your control, in my opinion. I mean, you couldn't control literally probably anything really at some points, right?
It's tough. I mean, there's a quote that I've always loved, and it's about like the things you can't control, you can't worry about that. But there's things you can always control, and two things that you can always control is attitude and effort.
I love that.
I love it. It's one of the greatest.
Yeah. And when we obviously this podcast is about you and it's about your journey and it's about getting shit done, and to correlate kind of that mindset. We talk to salespeople, and whether you're a marketer, your operations, your salesperson, your service tech, it doesn't matter. Like you can control the attitude and the effort that you have at anything that you do, and if you make that the number one priority, then good results happen, and then likely you're going to have more fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it kind of is like that circle of energy that happens.
You can always control how you respond to shit, right?
Yeah.
Like bad things are going to happen, but it's how you respond to it and what happens. And like you said, and it's about having fun. People think like, okay, you're an Olympic gold medalist, you must train 40 hours a week. No, I go up by Dustin and I train 1 hour a day on Monday, 1 hour a day on Tuesday, 1 hour a day on Thursday, and 1 hour a day on Friday. But the rest of my life focused around the same goal. Mm-hmm. Like I'm on my bike for probably 10 hours a week. I'm paddleboarding, I'm surfing, I'm swimming. I'm finding all these things that are still exercise. You guys, play is exercise.
Absolutely.
So find things that you love to do, because if I spent all my time in the gym, I'd be burnt out. I would have stopped doing this after my first or after my second Olympics for sure, after not getting the results that I wanted. But I found ways to make it fun. And when you make it fun, it changes the whole dynamic of what you're doing.
So it's therapy too.
Oh, 100%.
Because somebody asked me like, how can you go on a Wednesday night at 8:00 and go hit golf balls? I'm like, I'm not hitting golf balls. I'm at therapy, man.
Yeah.
That's how I'm letting everything out. And while I'm thinking about how I want to hit this ball, shape that shot, what I'm really thinking about is like, I should probably tell my wife I love her more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I probably should apologize to my kid for being late to that or whatever. So like, that's the stuff. It's just clearing all that out, while all along I'm putting the right energy out there. I'm creating a little bit of mastery, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it more for that therapy. And that's what you're talking about. Is like, you didn't need to bike ride. You were bike riding because you're already somebody who wants to be in that energy.
Yeah.
And it also cleared your mind.
Cleared my mind. It makes me healthier. Mm-hmm. You guys, as we get older, all the bad decisions we made when we were younger, like playing football, it hurts. Motion is lotion. If you stop, you're gonna hurt, right? Yeah,
that's a good term. I'm falling apart, so that's a good term,
dude.
Don't stop moving, because like if I stop now, everyone's like, dude, you're gonna be in so much pain when you're done with this. I was like, no, I'm not. And they're like, yeah, you are. I was like, no, I'm not, because I'm not gonna stop. Like, yeah, I might stop competing at the highest level, but you think I'm gonna stop going to the gym? You think I'm going to stop mountain biking? You think I'm going to stop snowboarding? No,
it's
I'm going to keep doing these things. And they say now that people that are in extreme sports, like all these extreme sports, skateboarding, snowboarding, we live longer. And they're like, you're not going to be able to do that when you're 80.
About that.
Here we are. You look on Instagram and now you see these people going.
Tony Hawk looks like he's 25
exactly,
still,
right?
Bobby Kennedy is.
Robert Kennedy Jr. Holy cow, that guy's a brick shithouse.
It's you do these things and you keep moving, and man, it keeps you alive. If you stop doing that, like I'm from the Midwest, and I have awesome things to say about the Midwest, except for our health.
Yeah,
there's something different when I go to these mountain towns and I train out west. Everyone's in a good shape. People are smiling. You want to know why they're smiling?
Vitamin D.
Because they're happy. Yeah, vitamin D, but they're happy because they're in good shape. Their health is well. Here in the Midwest, we don't have that.
Dude,
I'm going to try to help change that.
These winter months, though, man, frick, they make me depressed. There's no sun. Like you drive to work, the sun's coming up. You go get in your car, the sun's down. Yeah. And, when
sometimes
I get into...
it's down both ways.
Sometimes it's down.
Crazy,
I get it. When I get into the mood, and you're the same way, man. We get into the office, we get into our thing.
Yeah.
I'll come walk out to his office, which has windows by the front door. I just hang out here, and I'm like, holy shit, it's dark out? He's like, yeah, it's 4. I'm like, really? It's 4 o'clock? Like, you just get into it. There's no sunlight, man. That's why, I love the whole thought process, because you're like, hey, you got to get out. You got to do
stuff. You got to, it's
motion
it
is lotion.
Motion is lotion, for sure. Well, yeah, I guess we continue to talk about this.
So I segued on purpose there for a second, because now we're gonna
that's it.
I'm looking across the table right here. There's a chunk of gold. Okay, can you hold that up?
Yeah,
let's hold that up. Right? Can you hold that up in that camera right there, ladies and gentlemen? That is an actual gold medal, USA gold medal in the Get Shit Done Experience podcast studio, 2020.
And before we talk about this, I do want
Beijing.
people, if you could zoom in, you see all the frays hanging off of that. There's rips, there's dirt. The finish is falling off of my medal.
He takes it everywhere.
I take it everywhere, and I share it with absolutely everyone. Everyone's like, dude, you need to put that in a safe, and you need to hide it away and keep it safe. What's it going to do in a safe?
Yeah. Right.
Like, I'm going to inspire so many people with this thing by handing it to someone. When I hand this to someone and they hold it and they go, when you hand this to a kid, like I got like those dumbasses that always talk shit, and they're probably the same ones on the internet.
Dude, we're sitting right here. We can hear you.
Yeah. But
we are on a podcast.
Yeah,
and like my buddies who like to talk smack. Oh yeah, you probably got it in your pocket, and I'm like,
yeah, damn right,
I do.
Yeah,
I do. And they're trying to say like, oh, trying to make me look bad, like I think I'm cool or something, like I'm some conceited prick. No, when you hand this to a kid and you watch their eyes just do this, and you see the opportunities open up in their mind, and you're like,
that's why
they're like, I can change, I can take over the world. You damn right you can.
That's why you're not a conceited prick, because the difference is you hand it to the kid to give the kid the experience.
Yeah.
You would be if you carried it around and you were like, no, you can't hold this. This is mine.
Yeah.
I won this. You didn't do anything. Like
people get so surprised when they're like, I was like, you want to take a picture? Here, let me put it on you. They're like, no, you wear it. And I'm like, I'm not wearing it. I'm going to look like a jackass. Look at my medal.
Yeah. There's enough pictures of me with it on.
Yeah.
You wear it.
Search the internet, bud.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. So now we're 2022.
2022.
Okay. So I come in this morning. I had already done some research, but I always like it to be fresh because I have a memory of a 49-year-old that run into a whole bunch of walls, right? Exactly. So I always like to just do like the hour before we start recording. I just kind of go through a whole thing. First thing I pull up on Instagram is, here I am sitting here, like I'm starting to well up. I'm like, dude. So it's you going, like, emotional. I'm 40 years old. I'm running out of time.
Yeah.
People are counting on me back home.
Yeah.
This means everything to me.
And I feel like I let them down.
And I'm like, okay, how do I make this podcast energetic? Like, oh my gosh, that is that is powerful.
Bawling my eyes out.
Like, and then, so of course I immediately scroll and I see all the happy parts of the story.
Yeah.
There's so much good. But then I went back and I saw that. And by the way, a little piece of you kind of punched me right in the heart, right in the chin. Cause I'm like, this guy is as human gets. You're not pretentious. You're humble. And it's not about you saying that you won, because the key to what you said is so many people back home are counting on me and I let them down. You were wearing all of that on your shoulders, to Nick's point. Like you're carrying the United States of America's pride on your shoulders. I can't even fathom what that feels like.
Yeah.
So now we already know that it ends up, it's a happy story, but walk us through. You're at the opening ceremonies. Go.
Yeah. Opening ceremonies again. It's a little different this time because COVID, everything's different. Mm-hmm. We go in. To be honest, and here's what I'm thinking during the opening ceremonies. Like my earlier ones, I'm like, dude, this is crazy. The whole world's watching. I'm like, I feel bad for the people that this is their first Olympics because it's different. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's different. They're not getting the
full vibe.
And for a lot of these people, this will be their only shot at this. And they're not getting the full experience. So, yeah, we did that. And the part that he's talking about, the sad part, so I had won the bronze at the test event in the individual race. And I go up to do my individual race, and I'm like one of the favorites for sure. Yeah. Everyone's like blown away what's going on. I'm fast as hell on this track. Everything's like set up for this amazing story. And I go through, and the first run goes great. Second run goes great. First run goes great. Second run's going great.
IT decision makers, this might sting. Frustrated with IT issues, security threats, and the stress of your technology infrastructure? Your technology should blend seamlessly with your business objectives. Technology infrastructure management with limited resources can be exhausting and counterproductive. Do you have an MSP but still have problems and technical hiccups? GSD's advisement, proactive maintenance, cutting-edge cybersecurity, cloud solutions, data backup, and local 24/7 help desk can change the game. Your technology should outpace your business operations to allow for growth, and proactive strategies should prevent issues before they arise. Get back your time and your money with GSD. Drive business forward. Leave the technology to GSD. GSDnow.com. First run, you were in third, right? You were like up there after that first run that you did, like based on where they like rank based on.
So the first one, I cross the finish line first.
Got it. Okay.
And then I go back up to the top for the second heat. And the second heat, I'm in third place, and I make a pass, and then I pass for the lead, and I get out in front, and I make a little bit of a mistake. And 2 turns down later, this kid from third place from Austria catches up to us and goes to the inside of me and turns to the inside of the corner, and he exits out almost into my lane, and I'm like,
you were trapped.
no chance am I gonna if I
Just
double
cut you off.
If I double this, which we were doing, if I double this and he hits me, I'm out. I need to find a way. So I tried to pump these rollers and keep the momentum and keep my board on the ground so that if he hit me, I could still stand my ground and I'd be fine. I pumped the first one fine. The second one, I air off of it, land kind of going uphill a little bit, lose my momentum. The guy behind me in third passes me. We kind of run into each other. I think I kind of bumped into him. All my supporters are like, he ran into you. And I'm like, no, it was on me. I made my mistake a long time ago. And then they start pulling away from me on the last finish line straight. And I just see my dream again falling away. And dude, coming off that finish line jump, I'm standing straight up. If you watch the video, I'm standing straight up, just fully accepting that it's over.
Yeah.
And I crossed the finish line, and dude, everything, I'm just like, I kind of like kick my board to the side, and I'm just depleted and just defeated, and just everyone's like, man.
And then, of course, they immediately put a camera in your face.
Yeah, well, and immediately, and I'm sitting there in front of everyone, and I'm trying to keep my composure. My eyes are like swelled up, and I'm just looking at the camera, just like this. And then we walk out, and they rush the 2 guys that won back up to a snowmobile so they can get back to the top. And I kind of go over to the side, and they're trying to get me to go to media, and they're like, you got to go do your interviews. And I'm like, dude,
give me
need
a
to stop.
breather, man.
So I sit down, and I literally cried for like probably 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Bawling my eyes out, like, this is it. It's over.
All the work.
Like, all
everything.
The last 17 years of my life.
Freaking.
Like, in the sacrifices that I made, commuting an hour and a half to the gym, all that for nothing.
So this is all just passing through you.
Yeah.
Like airport runway, dog and van.
Yeah, everything.
13-year-old kid walking me off. Just all flashing past.
And this is it, right? I'm 40 years old. Like, this is the end. So, like, I didn't even know that I was getting another shot to race yet because I'm so just distraught. And then finally the guy's like, dude, you have to come. And I'm like, all right. And I gather myself. I take a deep breath. And I walk over, and NBC, I can't remember her name. She looks at me, and as soon as she opens her mouth,
you just...
It's like when something bad happened and you see your mom.
Yeah. Yep.
I just start bawling, and she asked me these questions, and just this vulnerability takes over. And here's this big, strong, masculine athlete. Can't even talk. He's crying so hard. And not just for one. I mean, the whole world's watching.
Yeah.
They're seeing it.
Yeah.
It's all being laid out there. My heart's on my sleeve. And she starts going through the questions like, oh, it's not how you wanted it to go. And I'm saying everything like what you mentioned, just like it's heartbreak. Like,
yeah, you're like, I'm 40 years old.
40 years old. I'm running out of chances. And I said, and then I
think
go.
the direct quote was, I'm 40 years old. I'm running out of chances. Everyone at home is counting
back
on
home
me.
and
has done so much for,
and then I feel like I let them down.
Yeah.
And
that's when I was like,
yeah,
I'm sitting in my house. I'm like, damn, man.
Crazy, right?
It's a lot of weight to carry.
It's a lot. And but it's such a beautiful community. Like, all my friends that go to the Olympics, like, beforehand I'd ask them, like, what did you do before you went to the Olympics? They're like, oh, we were like, I don't know, stretching and going to the gym, doing warm-ups and sitting on the couch. And I'm like, dude, we had parades. I had a 70-mile parade to the airport my first Olympics.
Yeah.
Like, this place, cool. Pep assemblies at my local school.
That's the beauty of small towns, man.
Right? It's completely different. And like, this was my shot to give them that.
Yeah.
And I lost it. And then I go through and I do the rest of the interviews and doing the print interviews. And then I get through all of that, accepting. My teammate goes on and takes 6th place in the race. And I remember the meeting we had beforehand. If you did 6th or better, you got to race in the team event. And then if by chance we got 2 teams, it would go to whoever had the most points, which was me. I was the highest ranked athlete going in. And but I didn't think we did. I thought it was over. I thought
So
I was
you
done.
thought you were done.
Thought I was done.
You thought you thought the Olympic journey was over. 40 years old. I'm done.
Yeah.
We'll get to the fact that you're not done.
Yeah.
But also, you are on that second team,
Yeah.
so you get another crack at it.
Yeah,
Now-
well, but first I finish my interviews and I find a spot off the beaten path away from people. I'm just like, dude, I'm still not over this.
Recalibrate.
So I go back and I do some more crying and just thinking about like what can I take from this? Like, what do I do? This is it. And my teammate comes up to me, Hagen Kearney. He comes up to me and he puts his hand on my shoulder. He's like, dude, it's okay, man. You got another shot. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? It's over. And he's like, no, you're going to be in the team. I was like, huh? How, what?
Yeah.
Come on. We got to find out.
Hagen, don't mess with me right now.
So
I will middle linebacker your ass right now.
suplex, wham.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then the coaches are like, yeah, dude, we got 2 teams. You're racing again. And I was like, and then they start giggling and looking at me. They're like, how did you not know?
Yeah.
And I was like, well,
I was just over here. I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
So
Why
am
are you
I.
crying? I'm not crying. It's over here. God, it's really windy. If you
got
notice
any water?
the wind. It's
cold out here.
Somebody came over here. Just some guy runs up, pulls a nose hair out. Okay, I was fine. But when you pull that nose hair out, the waterworks, you know what it's like.
yeah. And like we had a meeting beforehand and they gave us some criteria and talked about it. And I was like, you guys, my plan was to go out and win. And then I knew I was going to be on the team.
There was no plan
There was no
B.
question.
Yeah.
There was no. I'm fully invested and I'm just going and winning and then I'll get it. I thought I was coming back with 2 medals. And then I lose and then I think it's over. And then now there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Talk about.
And now how do you get that roller coaster, right?
How do you reset?
How do
Yeah.
you reset? How do
Yeah.
you pick yourself back up? And here again, I would love to be able to tell you that I'm that good of an athlete. I've been at this long enough that I just picked myself up and got in the right mindset and I went back. No, I went back and I was like, oh, get it together.
When
All
you
right.
say you went back,
went back to the Olympic Village.
Got it.
I mean, we went back and I got all my stuff taken off and congratulated the guy who won and because he's a good friend of mine from Austria, Alessandro Hammerly. I was like, dude,
chopper.
so awesome. Yeah. I was like, great job. And then I go back to my room and I take my phone and I start looking at the messages, right? And I'm telling you what, you come from a small town, every single person in that town wrote me a message and man, the things that they said, like, pick your head up, man, you got this.
So
and
your phone is just filled with love notes.
thousands.
Wow.
Thousands of messages. And I've always been one that if you write me a message, dude, I'm going to get to it. And I am going to write back. And I obviously waited to write back to all these people, but I read them, man. And I'm reading them and I'm like, dude, they're like, the biggest thing was you didn't let anyone down. And then I was like, all right, after reading a bunch of them, all right, you better do something, right? Yeah. So the next day, I'm like, I gotta put something out on the internet. I gotta let them know that I see this.
I'm cool.
I'm hearing this. I'm in a good space. We're gonna go and we're gonna try to win this next one. So I make this video and just as hard. Like I couldn't get through it. I'm crying every time. It took me so many times to get it done. And I was like, you guys, I'm sorry. And I guess I used the wrong word by let down because I know you guys weren't let down and I know you care about me and you got me and you're supporting me. So, but here's how you watch. We're going back and we're going to do this. And it just all flipped. But with the help of that community, dude, we were back. And I was like, oh,
Freaking badass.
we're freaking ready.
I know, I got goosebumps. So like that.
I
This
still
is
don't
like-
know who I'm racing with because we got 4 people in, 2 guys and 2 girls.
Yeah.
As soon as I knew, I mean, I assumed, I knew just because, yes, I didn't do as well as my teammate, but with my experience and how long I've been doing this, plus they said snow's coming. It doesn't even snow in this place in China. They made all their snow. It snows 2 times while we're there. And once is right before our race.
Hello, universe.
Yeah. Hello, universe. Changes the game. Because when it snows, it gives me advantage. One, because I'm very good at gliding and keeping my board flat. But also, I'm bigger than.
It's a power game.
It's gravity friction sport. Mass tends to win, and when you add snow and it slows it down, it doesn't slow me down as much as it slows them down. So it changes the game, and it makes that racecraft so much more important. So I knew they were going to put me with Lindsay Jacobellis, who actually just won the gold medal in the individual race and won the first gold medal for Team USA.
What's up, Lindsay? Let's go.
Dude, so awesome. Her story, she's got a story. Dude, an incredible story. She crashed in her first Olympics in first place. Oh. She did a trick on the second to last jump and crashed in the lead by a long shot. Oh. And then the media beat this girl up.
Tore her to pieces.
For years, her whole career. And then not only
and she was doing the thing you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah. Well,
shame on her.
And see, doing a trick in snowboarding, that's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you guys got into it in the first place. Then you discovered you were fast.
Yeah.
And then somebody said, hey, you should go win races.
Yeah.
But you started out fun. So she's got this huge ass lead.
Yeah.
She's like, well, here's a safe trick.
And does it so sick. It's the sickest method I've ever seen in my life, but she did it too sick. And it ended up twisting her sideways and she fell down. She's 17 years old, I think.
Yeah.
And this is a child.
Lesson
and
learned.
She goes out there and for all those years, they just tore her apart and beat her up. On part of the interruption, they called her the worst clutch athlete ever. I'm like,
my God.
Do you guys not know that this girl's still winning everything?
Yeah.
Like, come on, cut her some
because the
slack.
two of those guys could even catch a ball if you threw it to them.
You want to know what's funny?
God, pardon the interruption. Yeah.
You want to know what they said? They go, I don't even know what this is. It's a made-up sport.
Yeah.
Isn't every sport made up, you dumbass?
Yeah. Strap up, see how made up it is.
Yeah. Well, every sport in the world's made up.
Yeah,
We
right.
take this ball, this hoop. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
God made Adam, Eve, and then football.
Yeah.
That was the 8th day.
Yeah. So it was funny.
Little known fact.
And then to have her win that gold medal and finally get it after all the years of not getting it, it was an amazing thing. And then I knew they were going to pair me with her because we were the U.S. wants the best shot at a medal. Whatever that is, we're going to make it happen. And we go out there. My teammate, Jake Vetter, that was on the other team, dude's a boss. And he's getting better every year. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. He already is. And then his teammate, Faye Galini, best female snowboarder I've ever ridden with in my entire life.
Wow.
And so we have a chance. But
So is the U.S. team just stacked comparative to the world?
we were.
Pretty okay.
I feel like
We were.
I
Is that
don't,
what you
I don't
want?
want to misclassify. Like I think like the Japanese snowboarding has been pretty good.
So
Right?
in freestyle for sure,
Yeah.
but in our sport we were dominant for so many years. But
Bit of a rebuild?
I think the amount of money, we're the only country in the world that doesn't support. We get no government funding for our sports. For yeah, right. And there's a direct correlation.
Get me started.
And cut.
We'll talk about that off air if you don't mind.
Because everyone thinks, like, when I tell people that I'm on the U.S. snowboard team, they're like, "Oh, my tax dollars," and I'm like, "No." All our money comes from corporate sponsorships and private donors, people that were on the team or just want to be a part of our legacy. Yeah. And without them, we don't get to do this. So props to all you guys. Thank you guys, because we can't do it without that kind of support. And but because these other countries are putting so much effort and resources and money into it, I mean, they have these kids coming up the pipeline.
Yeah, from like age 3.
France at the last race had 18 athletes in the race. 18 athletes where we had, what did we have? 8, 9, 10, 11?
Yeah.
And these kids are all stacked. I mean, these kids, they're younger than my kid and they're just dominant.
It's like Drago from Rocky 4.
Yeah, right?
I will break you.
Yeah. We got the heart, baby. We got the heart.
Chopping wood.
Yeah, so they pair us together, me and Lindsay, and I'm like, dude, we're going to get this. And it's funny, the night before I go down, and I was like, all right, Linz. She's like, whoa, calm down.
Yeah.
We don't need to peak yet. It was funny. I mean, she's a veteran. She's been at this. She's like, whoa.
Yeah. Hey, little advice, no tricks.
You had to
I didn't say
change
that.
your strategy. You're like,
I ain't leaving. So yeah, crazy thing. We get paired together and we go out there, and again, I learn more about my sport and I learn more about how I compete and how I do well. And now it's completely different. The goal has always been this thing,
Hold
right?
that thing up. Let's
It's
go.
always been this medal. it's not about the medal anymore. It's about that town back home. And all I want to do is I want to show the kids that the schools that I went to, that all that sacrifice that I made, everything that I did wasn't for nothing. I just wanted to show them what's possible if you're willing to do that kind of sacrifice. And it was completely different. It was about having fun and showing everyone back home what you can do if you're willing to just make yourself vulnerable. Chase that dream. Go out there and outwork everyone and show them what's possible. I didn't get the opportunity to do that in the first race. And this was my chance to do it. And as we start going through the rounds, dude, the first round was nuts. The Australian team, one of them lands on Lindsay. Lindsay wobbles and gets through it. And then another person clips her. And I'm like, no. And then Lindsay just powers through and finally gets to the bottom. And we're on to the next round. We're like, oh my God, that was the scariest thing I've ever watched.
It was scary how you told it.
Yeah, right? And then we get to the finals. And I get into the gate. Men go first. I'm in the gate and I'm sitting and I'm like, dude, you want something to prove? Here's your opportunity, buddy. And I look to the side of me and I couldn't help but go, whoa, we start giggling. And I look and here's the bronze medalist from the individual race. Here's the silver medalist from the individual race. And the last guy is the guy who cut me off in 2018, 6 weks before the Olympics, and broke my back. And I'm laughing. I'm like,
we about to get some revenge.
Yeah, no, because he ain't gonna. I'm gonna be so far ahead of him. But I'm like, you want to prove something? Here's your chance, buddy. So I take off a slow start because that's what I do. Because I have remember those fast twitch muscles I was talking about that died. Yeah. So I'm slow out of the start, but then my racecraft takes over. I'm in third place and I go into turn one. I pass for second, and it's funny because right before I go, I know that if I'm smiling and having a good time, I ride better. So I'm joking up top, and some people are like serious.
Yeah.
And then I come in and I'm like, making jokes, and they're like, shut up, dude.
I'm focusing.
Yeah. So I look at this kid, Elliot Grandin from Canada, and 20-year-old kid, and I said, Elliot. And he's like, looks over at me, and I was like, hey, don't you go doing something stupid like getting so far ahead of me that I can't draft you and pass you. And he's like, shut up, Baum. Dude, I get in the gate.
Oh, that's good.
I make a pass for the lead or for second in turn one, and I look ahead. And Elliot Grandin's about 60 feet in front of us.
Holy
gone.
Shit.
Just, I was on the very edge of the draft.
Yeah.
And I'm tucked down directly behind him, 60 feet behind him. Just right straight behind him.
Man, the
and I
draft is
slowly
that far,
start creeping up. And I'm getting closer and closer, and I go through this jump section. I jump, and the same jump that I made the mistake in that helped me get eliminated in the first run is where I made the most spectacular pass of my career. And it's so funny. He's got to jump because it's windy, the snow's slow. He's got to pop to get over the jump. But I'm coming with a head of steam as one of the best gliders in the business, and I got the slingshot. Slingshot, engage. And I make this huge move, and I'm like I'm way down here, and he's way up here. And he's probably looking down, like, no! And right underneath him, go for the lead. And then I end up getting to the bottom, and there's this straightaway, and it's all rollers. And I'm like, dude, no way. And we didn't even get to the story of why I knew they weren't going to pass me there. I pump these rollers as hard as I can, end up winning. And that gives Lindsay the advantage. However much I win by, they record the time differential.
It's like handicap.
Yep.
Right.
So her gate opens first, and then whoever took second, their gate in the time differential.
Time difference.
Yeah. So then, so it goes back to the top, and I'm sitting there at the bottom, and I'm like, dude, I did my part, because there's no way that I was gonna like if I would have won, if I would have took last and she would have won, I'd have still accepted this medal and I would have loved it.
Yeah.
But
you did.
There's no way that I'm gonna let my buddies talk smack to me like, dude, Lindsay, no.
She dragged her ass.
Yeah, no, I'm winning this, and not only am I winning, I'm beating the bronze and the silver medalist.
Yeah,
like let's go, and I beat them, and then I'm at the bottom and I'm cheering for my teammate, and that's my favorite part. Like, there's one thing that we do better than any other team in the country is the U.S. team. We cheer for our teammates. I don't care if I'm about to strap in to do my qualifying for the Olympics, biggest race of my life. My teammates in the gate, I'm screaming, let's go, screaming, getting them hyped up. Because when I'm in there, I want them screaming for me too,
Hell
right?
yeah.
We work together. That's the only way to get the whole team to rise. You got to work together to do that.
We talk about that in business. You got to be a brand champion, man.
Yeah.
If you represent a brand, you better be telling that story to everybody you can with as much pride as you can. It's the same thing. Somebody makes a sale. Somebody does something phenomenal in service, whatever it might be. You make the best hire you've made in months. Like, you got to cheer each other on. It transfers that energy and then it bleeds through the organization. So I love that you say that because it does matter.
Oh, it matters big time, because some of the other countries, it's almost like they want their teammate to do bad. So that if they do bad, it still feels like they did good, right?
Yeah,
that's not how you raise a
Right.
team. You raise a team by working together and feeding off each other. I scream for you, and I help you get better.
Right.
And now I got to work harder to beat you again.
Right.
And then I get up here, and then now you're working harder to beat me. And it's just, we bring the whole level, the whole team up. So that's my favorite part about being a part of the U.S. snowboard team. So we're doing that, and I'm at the bottom. Obviously, I'm invested in this. If she does well, I do well.
Yeah.
But I'm screaming. The internet went crazy. They're like, Will Ferrell.
It's all over
Nick
the
Baumgartner
internet. Yeah.
is Will Ferrell. And someone sent me this
And I think the
video.
Italian racer.
Oh, yeah, he's right alongside me.
He's like cheering you on for cheering on your teammate. It was pretty cool.
And
it's great camaraderie.
he obviously wants his girl's in front the whole race.
Yeah.
Until the second to last turn, Lindsay sets her up, dives to the inside, blows her doors off, and then runs away with it. And she gets to the bottom and she crosses, and I'm screaming.
You ran out to her.
I ran out to her. I give her this big hug, and it's funny. Everyone just sees this beautiful hug. I'm hugging her, and I'm squeezing her. Like, her eyes are probably popping out of her head. And she's like, Bob, stop. It looked beautiful, but she's like, man, dude. And I'm like choking her. Like, yeah, we did it. And man, we have this moment, and it's incredible. And all that hard work, it paid off. And now I'm crying just like I was before. It's just different tears now.
You know what's really cool about being on that type of a stage is it's all documented.
Yeah.
It's so this is not a fabricate. Like, none of this is like the fish was 15 feet long. It's this is all documented.
It's a great thing, except for when it goes bad.
Except for when it goes badly. Except for when it goes badly. Which is why editing is great. You can patch it together and make it really good. It's a picture of someone else holding a gold, but it's all you. Just your head's cropped on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but no, it's
a
great.
Fantastic story.
It's so unbelievable. And then to do that, and let me tell you guys, man, I've always been a fan of listening to the national anthem, but
it sounds a whole
when you're in front of the whole world and you're standing next to Canada and Italy, and the Star Spangled Banner starts playing, it hits different.
In a winter game.
Yeah.
Because Canada and Italy in winter games do pretty damn well.
Yeah. And here we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then we go and we do our I get to go right back to that same interview at NBC.
Oh, yeah.
And they got all the cameras. They got cameras in my house. In my house with my family watching. So, like, after I lost, not only did they ask me all the questions, but when I had thought I ran out of tears, they're like, and here's your son. And I'm like, dude, do not go there. Like, and I looked to my son and I was like, dude, I'm sorry, buddy. And I'm crying.
Yeah.
And then we get to do it again.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to my family,
Yeah.
and I'm crying just the same way, and I'm like, we did it. And I'm freaking out. And then I yell this thing. So my local mascot, it's a made up mascot. So you guys are all going to wonder what the heck's a Wycon. But so I'm like, right before they're about to cue us off and leave, I was like, once a Wycon, always a Wycon. Dude, when I came home, that was plastered
all over the place.
Everywhere. And you guys, I didn't just come home. So they kicked us out immediately afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
We did our ceremony on the snow. We go and we get drug tested. We go straight down, pack up all our snowboard bags at the mountain, pack them up as quick as we can. They give us a ride back to the Olympic Village, pack up your entire room, get your press clothes on, and then go do interviews for 3 hours.
Wow.
We do 3 hours.
Hasn't even tried yet. What the?
That's wild.
We do 3 hours of interviews, And we go and get our medals at that point. They don't give us the medals on the snow. They give us like a teddy bear, and it's funny. Everyone's like, "What? What? Just because he won with a girl?"
Honey, I don't think this is the Olympics. Actually, like I don't know. What
yeah, they're like, just because he won with someone else, him and a girl won together, they're not going to give him medals.
What is this? What does this even mean? I think they're trying to make a political statement. Turn it off.
So we get this teddy bear, but then we go and we do these interviews, and then we get our medals, and then they bring us back to the Olympic Village, and we bring all of our stuff down to a bus, and we jump on a bus, and we start heading home.
Holy cow.
Because it's COVID, right?
Yeah.
It's COVID.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. That makes
You're
sense.
out.
Okay, yeah.
You guys
so
have
that's
to
not
leave?
all how it always is.
No.
Okay.
So there's no finishing ceremony at this point?
No, there will be one at the end of the thing, but we're gone.
I got
We're
it.
not allowed to
It's
stay.
on the tarmac.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is your
Maybe
captain
sparklers.
speaking? Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. You get on a
This is your
bus.
captain speaking.
We're going out the left
Right
side.
now we're coasting at 30,000 feet. And, we're gonna go ahead and give Nick Baumgartner his medal right now, and we got NBC. They're gonna, if you want to bring in,
I don't know where I'm going with that.
Yeah, so it was, what a trip back, too. You guys, it was a 5-hour bus ride to Beijing. We get to the airport. It's a 5-hour check-in just to get everything done. They take all your stuff because they're like, oh, no, that's hand sanitizer. You can't have that. And I'm like, what? They took whatever. They didn't.
I'm shocked these flights aren't chartered by the United States. Like,
No, it was COVID. They weren't allowed.
so there's no charter flights at that point.
Yeah,
Huh?
well, there was just everything
Oh,
was
it's also
different.
China, huh?
Everything was different,
Yeah,
right?
a little different.
Yeah. So it's crazy. So and then we end up flying 5-hour check-in, fly to Tokyo, 5-hour layover, fly to San Francisco, 2-hour layover where we're like sprinting through to try to get to our next flight.
Dude, your travel agent sucks.
Yeah. And then
U.S. government.
and then fly to no government assistance.
Yeah.
And then fly to Chicago. I fly to Chicago, 5-hour layover in Chicago where I watched the Super Bowl, which was cool.
We weren't in that.
Yeah. no, neither were the Packers.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there. I'm sitting there at the United Lounge, the Polaris Lounge in Chicago O'Hare, watching the game, fresh with the gold medal. Like, yeah, dude, like sick. And I'm like, all right. And then I fly a half-hour flight up to Green Bay, Wisconsin. And I get out and I'm walking. And I'm talking to my family before. My kid's like, all right, well, I'll see you tomorrow when you get here. And I get there, and as I'm walking out, like most of the people on the plane have no idea what just happened or who I am.
Yeah.
They're just like, off face covered, like no one knows what's
You're
going
not
on.
like, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to make an announcement. My name is Nick Baumgartner.
And I just,
Here, let me tell you what I just did.
yeah, no. So we're walking down, and it's crazy because, you're still mandatory mask in the airport. You're not allowed. So I'm walking out, and we walk through into the opening part. And, dude, as we start getting closer, you can hear the Olympic theme song playing.
Oh, my God.
Dude. And I'm like, and I'm kind of giggling because I'm like, these people
They have no
no
idea.
idea what they're about to walk into.
They're like,
and the door opens, and we walk out, and it's filled.
Just
camera crews,
the whole town.
People, just people from all over.
Yeah,
people I didn't even know. And like I had friends that were from like, you don't live here. What the heck are you doing here? And I'm like, this is crazy. And then I walk out, and from behind someone, my kid pops his head out.
oh,
dude.
man.
So crying again, bawling my eyes out.
Heart melted.
Yeah, I hug my kid, and then I hug everyone, dude. And at this point now, everyone's got their masks off, and we're just like, dude, it doesn't even matter. We're breaking rules, and no one. They're like, we can't. Like, we're gonna let this slide, and get to see everybody. And then my sponsor, Chris Oil, it's a local gas company where I live, and just a great family. And he the kid who it's the grandson of the guy who owns the company, and he's like he's running a lot of the stuff now, and he's like, you can't come home. They're like, there's no way you're coming home at 2 a.m. when no one can be here. Like, I got you a hotel room, go over to the hotel, sleep. And then
Dude, your community
I'll tell you,
badass.
Yeah, I'll tell you when you can come home. And we figured it out. And in the morning, I went over and saw Martel Construction, the concrete company. Went and killed some time because we weren't allowed to go until a certain time. And then we drive home, and we get about 75 miles from home, in maybe even a little further. And the first community, and there's a parking lot, and I almost missed it because there's a people have their truck, and they have a sign that they built bigger than their truck off the side. Oh shit! So I go flying by, and I'm like beep beep, and I was like, no way.
That was the town.
Flip a Yui, go back, pull into the driveway or in the parking lot, let them all hold the medal, high fives, hugs, and then I go on to the next community. There's people all over on the road, and they're waving, and then we're still in Wisconsin, and then we cross the border into Michigan, where I live. And it's this community called Iron Mountain, Michigan. And they made us stop at this gravel pit on the outside of town and wait for all these cops to come. 8 police officers escort us through town. And dude, it's not just me in the truck.
Yeah.
My son is in the truck with me.
All this.
Senior year of high school.
You're officially
and, dude,
coolest dad ever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, except for I keep crying like a big sissy
well, I
pants.
mean, shit.
So I'm driving through. It's like 16 degrees out, but with the wind chill, it's like real feel probably like 8 below or something. And these people are out of their offices screaming, flags, fireworks. Shit's going gnarly. And I'm like, dude, this is crazy. We cross through that whole city, and then we go cross back into Wisconsin. And you got to go through this community, Florence, Wisconsin. And as we get into Wisconsin, all the Michigan police pull off.
Yeah.
Florence County police pull in,
just hand it
fire,
off.
yeah, and then they bring us through town. Everyone's going crazy, and then we go back into Michigan, and now we're in my county. And when we cross that, dude, there's a line like 1.5 miles long of vehicles. Every municipal vehicle in the town, every DNR officer, every cop, every fire truck, ambulance in a line. My friends are parked off to the side, like screaming, and they line us up, and then we drive into this town. And the first thing I see one of my childhood friends, my brother's best friend who used to come and stay with us. His son's running alongside the road with a flag, and people are going crazy. Everyone's crying and screaming. I'm driving up the road at one point, and one of my friends jumps out in the road. And he's, stop! And then they run this banner across the road, and then they're like, drive through it! I was like, okay! And we drive through it, and then we go 15 miles or 10 to 15 miles from this town to my town. And we get to the outskirts of my town, and it's the same thing. There's just everything. Everyone's there. And the gas company's they're like, we need to get something to make a statement. They got like one of those mining dump trucks, like the size of a building.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, this is going to make a statement. And it says,
one of those big fracking trucks.
Yeah, a big fracking truck. And big sign on the front says, once a Wycon, always a Wycon. And,
love it.
Dude,
That's
a big
awesome.
Ponzi machine, a sponsor of mine, a logging company from Finland. They're my best friend in high school. He's driving it, and he's got kids in there. And we get to my main street in town, and I pick my dog up at this point, too. So I got my dog and my kid in the truck. And we get into town, and I'm like, dude, there's no way.
Like
through my hometown.
How do you have anything left at this point?
Dude, I'm
just running on pure adrenaline.
Pure adrenaline.
And then you hibernated for 3 months.
Yeah, no, it gets wilder.
Okay.
I don't know how much time we got.
You
but
got all the time in the world you want, man.
Yeah, this is a wild ride. So we get to town, and I'm like, dude, there's no way all these people, like I've never seen a parade with this many people in my hometown. I've been to every parade in this town since I've been alive, and I've never seen this place packed like this. And it's below zero. So I'm like, dude, I jump out and I look at my brother. I'm like, dude, hey, someone's got to drive my truck. There's no way I'm going to sit in the comfort of my warm truck while everyone's out here doing this. Like, we need to drive my truck. So I get out, and I think I'm going to walk with my dog and my kid. My kid's like, peace, Dad. They got a school bus with this whole class on it. He's like, I'm going. I'm like, yeah, dude, you do you.
Go do you.
Go do you. So he runs and jumps on the bus.
He's like, that's my dad.
And so we go, and me and my dog start walking down the road, and everyone's screaming, and I'm cheering, smiling, and just everything's awesome. But every time I saw someone that had a little bit to do with that journey, whether it be one of those businesses that helped give me money when I asked for it,
$1,200 from the Martell throwing you $1,200.
Yeah, whoever it was, anyone that had a little bit to do with it.
Was
teachers
Dustin
from
there?
school. No. He was I don't think he made it to the parade. But then I start walking, and when I see these people that had something to do with the journey, man, I start bawling. And they come out and we hug and we embrace, and then we go through. Meanwhile, up at the high school, at the end of this parade, the gymnasium's been full for like 3 hours because we're so late. Because
you stopped to say hi to
everybody, right? Yeah. And so we walk through this whole thing. I got my medal, no gloves on, my hands are freezing, my dog's walking with me, and we go through this whole experience through all this, and we get up to the high school, and there's a bunch of kids there. And dude, I got this awesome picture of some little kid jumping up, and she's high-fiving me, and I'm high-fiving. It's just the raddest picture you've ever seen. And then we finally make it to the gym, and we walk into the gym, and it's just crazy. Like, so many people have been sitting there forever. We go through the whole experience. I look in the middle of the gym, and there's a bunch of chairs there, and my whole family's there. My 95-year-old grandmother's there. Like,
so in the grand scheme of things, right, for this town, in the grand scheme of things, this is a world event. You're on the world stage. You've won at the highest level on the world stage. For these people in this small part of America, that is the best parts of America.
Yeah,
they're always the best parts of America.
Yeah.
They're just the family focused, hardworking, tradition, like nuclear family, all that type of stuff. And here
street dances, rodeos, all the things.
Just all that stuff, right? Drag racing, and, just like fireworks, riding bikes, all that stuff. Just think, when you think Americana, right? That's what I'm thinking. And here you are bringing this piece of the world stage to them. So they sat there for 3 hours.
Yeah,
like I'm getting a piece of this.
Yeah,
I'm touching a piece of this.
Yeah, and
because
this just happened.
The biggest thing.
Yeah,
in that small town environment where everything is so peaceful, and there isn't a lot of huge stuff that comes out of that.
Yeah.
So now you're bringing this huge part of a world event to this part of
the next day.
Yeah, and they're like, it's fresh. They get to touch it.
Yeah.
And for many of these people, that's how they're going to lead people. Somebody's going to go, hey, where are you from?
Yeah.
Let me tell you where I'm from. That's what they're gonna do.
Well, they don't even.
And that's
have
what
to
I
now.
would do.
Yeah, they go Iron River, and everyone goes, "Oh, you're that place." Where that guy.
But that's what I would do.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if I got an Olympic gold medalist from my town, somebody's like, you meet somebody in an airport in California, right? You're from a small town in Illinois, right? Somebody goes, "Where are you from?" And you go, "Oh, I'm from such and such Illinois." It means nothing to them. If you go, "I'm from the town where Nick Verzillo, the gold medalist of bowling gold medalist," he's from. They would probably be like, "I'm sorry, who?"
Yeah,
but you get the point.
Yeah.
Like they're for them now, it's the lead-in sentence.
Yeah,
and they get to touch that. That's freaking powerful.
Yeah, so amazing. And then the whirlwind that happened after that. So we have this big ceremony. Everything's crazy, and then I start my school tour, which I've always promised. If I get this medal, I'm bringing it to every school. Every school I could get to. So the next day, I did a pep assembly at that same gymnasium. Dude, it's crazy. My kid got to walk out with me. He's holding the flag. Spotlight's on us. We're going. And they shut the spotlight off, and all these kids have these
the
little light
lights.
things.
Yeah, the snap.
What do you think is going to happen with that? They start rifling them at us.
Exactly.
And I'm like, whoa.
yeah.
It looked so freaking amazing. And
I bet on camera.
Oh yeah, just whipping shit at us, and it was insane. And then I got to speak to all the kids, have this whole thing, this moment with them, and then went straight from there to the neighboring town, did their school, and then I just started calling schools. Hey, you want me to come? Mm-hmm. And I was like, at some point, I got to get a little bit of money, so I just made sure that I could cover my costs, and so that I was driving all over, putting some miles on.
Well, look, okay, if somebody's thinking, this is not a lucrative sport.
No.
Okay, this is a love of the game sport.
Absolutely.
the primal sense of love of the game. That you're not getting rich from this sport.
Right.
It's about sponsorship, endorsements, speaking engagements, the book, all these things. But this journey that you were on is a vehicle, right, to get you to give that message to all those people who are going to take. It's not going to marinate with everyone. It's not going to resonate with everyone. But the ones that it does, there's some kid that you spoke to that's going to go invent something, maybe cure cancer, maybe start a business that does something amazing, and might be asked later on, like, what was the moment where you were inspired? It was like, Nick Baumgartner came to our elementary school. I was in 3rd grade. And I heard him talk, and I went, you know what? I can build a rocket ship. And like that kind of stuff happens.
Listen, every school that I spoke at after that moment, I always said, listen, being called the best in the world at something is pretty awesome. Being called an Olympic champion is pretty awesome. But that is not the greatest thing that's going to come out of this. The greatest thing that's going to come out of this medal is in 10 or 15 years when someone comes up to me and say, hey, you know what? You came and you spoke at my school. And I took something from that. And then they're going to tell me the cool shit that they got to do. Oh, we did this.
So
it
never dies.
We did this.
It never just sits on a mantle. It lives. It breathes. It's fluid.
Yeah, absolutely. So we went, from February 15th when I got home to the end of the school year, I spoke at 53 schools. One day I messed up the scheduling. I did it all on my own. I was like, you want me to come? Okay, I'm coming. Yeah. And I had to barely any money just because I didn't want people to not be like, well, we don't have the budget. Yeah. I'm like, we're going to make sure that you can do it. Yeah. So I would go and just knock out all these schools. And one day I messed up the scheduling and I did 5 schools in one day.
Good God, you had to be spent.
Dude, I was destroyed. Yeah. So, but going in front of those kids and doing that was... Man, it was so cool. You want to hear something cool? You go to an elementary school with 500 kids in a gymnasium.
That's energy right there.
The first time they had a pep assembly since COVID.
Yeah.
Right?
You're their hero for that.
This was it. Yeah, we broke them free. We're free.
Freedom!
And then hear those kids with that high-pitched voice. USA! USA!
Yeah.
The most... Oh, dude, the craziest thing you've ever heard. Just the energy. I mean, you could just...
The fuel tank, man. Your fuel tank is getting... So here's the cool thing, right? So you're going out there to fill their tank.
Yeah.
And what they don't know is they're filling yours the whole time.
Oh, yeah. And it's just
like a license to steal, man. Just taking that energy.
It's funny. The next weekend, I was asked to come and be the chief of ceremony or something for the UP 200. A dog sled race.
Yeah, absolutely. You competed in that, didn't you?
Yeah.
You should. Nick can run on all fours like you've never seen, man. Dude, he's so fast.
But that's when I was like, things are different. Because I walked through the town. I went and I spoke at the did the whatever we did. And hey, you guys, thank you guys. Gave them everything. And then we're walking through the town and literally... people are bolting from the sides of the streets, from other streets, running across, I was like, yeah, things are going to be different. Things are different now. And just crazy experience.
Okay, so things are different, but you ain't done.
No.
You're not done. So turned 43 yesterday.
Turned 43 yesterday.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah.
And we went out, had lunch.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Do you have chips and dip by any chance?
We had chips. We had some chips and guac.
Yeah.
Chips and guac. Chips. Yeah, we had some chips. And just shot the shit a little bit and talked. And you're hell bent on you ain't done. Like you're back in it. You're back in training. When's the next one coming up?
Yeah. So again, just like I did before, that Olympics was like, this is the last dance. And then I get the medal, and everyone's like, dude, get on top. And end when you're on the top. And I'm like, absolutely not. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I'm going to another Olympics. And they're like, what? And they're like, I said, I gotta. And they're like, what are you talking about? I said, well, there's no pressure now, right? We got the medal. We got the medal.
You're playing with house money.
There's no pressure. So I get to have fun. I get to enjoy the process. None of the stress, none of the pressure that I've felt every other time. And that makes me dangerous. Even at 44 years old, which I will be next year. We're 13 months out from the Olympics.
And where's this Olympics?
Milano Cortina, Italy. My mom's whole family's from Northern Italy.
No kidding.
So they're like, dude, you got to go. We want to go. I was like, now everyone wants to
where
go.
Where were you the whole time? You know? I'm out there on a runway sleeping. Now you want to go.
Yeah. But it's like, absolutely. So there's a little pressure. The family wants to go. But
that's not pressure. That's showing them.
No.
That's showing them. Now you get to show out.
Yeah. Now we get to have fun. And again, you guys, trust me, I'm going to make all the same sacrifices that I have. Now, the only thing different, last time I worked out at Advantage for one summer. Coming in, I had the best season of my career.
Now you got 3 stacked.
Yeah. Now watch out.
All right.
Yeah, imagine 4 years in a row coming at you. You're in trouble.
Do you feel like you're faster now?
It's crazy. So last year I was really fast, and I had some good success again last year. And this year we changed some things on my snowboards, and we found some more speed. And believe it or not, I feel stronger.
Yeah.
I feel stronger because it's more time in the gym, and now again, it's just I'm having fun.
Yeah,
I'm having fun, and it changes the whole dynamics of what's happening. And I think I really think, and I'm there not only to try to make this Olympic team, but I'm there as a mentor to these young kids. If I do my job right and they beat me, dude, there's no shame in that.
Right.
Like, I'll take pride in that, and I will cheer these guys on. And you know what? If one of them goes out there and wins, I'm going to be like, you know what? I had something to do with that. I had something to do with that, and that's pretty awesome. But I also know what it's like to have that kind of pressure on top of you. And I know what it felt like when I went through it. And some of these kids never had a real chance at the Olympics. Yeah, maybe they were like at the lower level trying to, like, maybe something crazy could happen and they could get in, but they didn't feel the pressure. Now that they're like supposed to make the Olympic team, it comes with different pressure. I'm there to help them through that. And if they can't figure out a way to outwork everybody and work harder than every single person, I'm going to delay their dream for 4 years, and I'm going to go one more time.
That a baby.
And
expectations, right, can be that a lot of people are all about, I got a high expectation. I don't know if that's the right thing. I think it's a discipline of putting in the work, doing all the little things, falling in love with the boredom of the simplicity, all the detail, learning to love that grind, all that different stuff, and then letting that play out instead of setting the expectation. I think maybe some of the younger guys that maybe you're going up against are going to learn that lesson that, it's the media is saying you're supposed to win. The industry's saying you're supposed to win. Yeah. Here you are, 44 years old.
Supposed to win.
Right, you're not supposed to win, and all you're doing is focusing on the grind and the fun,
grind.
and the grind and the fun.
Yeah, because a lot of times
dangerous.
These kids I want to be an Olympic gold medalist. Like, that's the goal. Yeah, but the goal needs to be, like, you can't be focused on, I want to be an Olympic gold medal. It needs to be, I want to grind. I want to outwork everyone. I want to knock these goals out. I want to do all this stuff. And if they don't do that, it's going to be very hard on them. And I'm trying, but you know how it is. Like, I'm an adult to them. They're a kid. When's the last time when you were a kid you listened to an adult? You didn't. So if they don't listen to me and they don't do what they're supposed to, and I just hope that if they don't make it, that they have the longevity in their career to learn like I did. Because if you go out there and you bust your butt and you do everything in your power to achieve what you want to do, you skip no practices and you outwork everyone, and you fall short of your goal, you can live with that, I promise you. But it's when you don't do that and you skip workouts and you
then
don't.
The guilt and the shame kick in. Those will kill you.
Yeah, that
guilt and shame pours cortisol into you, and when that cortisol hits, you tighten up, you get achy. You can't go fast. You can't do things at the level that you could when you're fun, you're smiling, you're free, you're loose. That's what we talk about when you're cold calling. Smile.
Yeah,
just sales in general. Like, if I do everything I can possibly do, I could sleep okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I lost, I could sleep okay.
Yeah.
I still be upset about it. I still think about it. Yeah. But at the end, it's like you said. It's
if you don't, that regret.
Yeah, exactly. But
so
you
heavy.
can't just you can't just say it or expect it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to put in the day to day. And what to me makes is the mindset. I mean, when you wake up, put your 2 feet down. How are you going to attack the day? That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you get up in the morning, when you put your 2 feet down, they hit the ground.
I do it different than everyone. I put pants on. No.
Yeah. I watched you put your pants on. I've never seen somebody do it arms first. That was crazy.
All right, sorry, what was the question?
No, the question is like when your feet hit the ground, like where's the mindset go?
Oh man, everything. I mean, just about everything I do in my life aligns with that goal that I have. I mean, yeah, we have little cheats here and there, but everything is about it. Like you won't see me if I go to a party, I ain't drinking.
Yeah,
and it's funny.
Full commitment.
It's so funny. Everyone talks about this, like, "Oh, you don't drink? What's wrong?" Like, what do you mean I don't drink poison? And I'm trying to be healthy. There's nothing wrong with that, you guys. But yeah, it's just everything needs to be in line with those goals. You have to have structure. You have to have a schedule. You have to have it all scheduled out. And this is what I'm going to do, and this is where I'm trying to get to at this point. And the big thing is about be better than you were yesterday.
Chipping away 1%.
We need to just replay that in the office.
Seriously, that's going to be on a freaking full-time loop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, be better than you were yesterday. Don't focus on like everyone else.
Yeah.
If you do that, you're gonna.
Okay, so I
gonna
have
burn you out.
to ask. You know, and I guess there's 5.
Single Sagittarius. How you ladies doing? No.
God damn it, he's reading my mind again. Get out of my head, Nick. No, but so let's just go through, and I'll start with the older brothers.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I saw a picture of your older brothers that you showed us.
Yeah.
I mean, these dudes, you guys are all chiseled, ripped.
Yeah.
Right? So there's the body fat count between the 4 of you is like 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't show the picture to you, and you definitely don't want to show the picture to anyone in your circle.
Sure.
Okay. What are the brothers thinking about this? Because brothers are crazy, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They'll be like, yeah, well, you could have gone faster.
Yeah.
I know you know what I mean? But you've talked about the town. You've talked about the community. You've talked about your team. I would guess, being the youngest of 6 kids, the thing that matters the most is what the parents think and what those siblings think.
Yeah.
Am I off?
No,
Am I wrong?
No, it means a lot, especially my brothers. My sister for sure too. Sometimes it's almost like she gets left out because of those older brothers. She was the one that.
Well, I'm glad she wasn't in that picture. That would have been weird.
She helped me survive that household because those guys made me tough. You're tougher when you grow up with older kids.
Yeah.
Like you want to fight someone with brothers, you got your hands full, right? And my toughness and everything that I have and who I am is because of those brothers. And because of my family. But my brothers, they set the bar high for me. My oldest brother, Robbie, I talked about in there. Dude was a fucking psycho. Man, the things he would do to...
This is the 5'6" wrestler?
Yeah, oh yeah. This is the dude that, like, what he would do to give himself the best chance at success. Dude, in high school, he graduated in 1994. He joined ballet.
What?
How do you think that's easy? What do you think his peers said about that?
Yeah, that
Oh,
didn't
Rob in
fly
a
very
tutu,
well.
right?
Yeah.
But he did it so that he had better balance for football and for wrestling. This is the kind of stuff he did. And one time he got in trouble and
It's
he
like
wasn't allowed.
Kyler Gordon from the Bears.
Right.
Did all the dance now.
Oh, no. My brother's a champion. The Bears aren't champions. What?
Strong point.
Dang,
Strong
again.
point. Fair
I'm just
enough.
kidding. I love seeing you guys do better. Every team should, come on, have your ears. But so my brother once got in trouble and wasn't allowed.
Let me throw you a bone.
Take that.
You guys won 4 games.
You'll get there.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
Some talent though.
As soon as you guys figure out what the game
building
actually
year.
stands for,
It's a building year.
Let's start with a coach.
it's a building decade.
We'll start with a coach next year. We'll see how it goes.
But so my brother got in trouble once, I remember, and he wasn't allowed to take the car to go to ballet practice. Well, there's no way he was going to miss ballet practice and let down the team, right? He rode his bike.
With a tutu on.
No, just rode his bike there. Yeah. Another time, he rollerbladed there. That backfired on him, though, because then his foot, the whole bottom of his foot was a blister. He couldn't do anything.
Sure.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
So this guy.
But this is the kind of work ethic that I followed.
Yeah.
Right? And then my brother Josh broke all the records in football, still owns the singles game rushing record and the single season rushing record. And then my brother Bo, 2 state championships in wrestling. I mean, this is what I'm following, right?
This is what you're dealing with.
This is what I'm dealing with.
So...
And then they, like I told you, then they all go on to be most athletic in their class.
Yeah.
And the best defensive football player on their team.
And I
got neither of them.
Yeah.
Neither of
So
them.
you had a chip on your shoulder. You were,
Chip on my
you were
shoulder.
going down that mountain with.
Yeah. And that's what it was. It was like trying to beat my brothers in something. And I never did it in any sport that I could be like, see, I'm the best.
Yeah.
My brother, I got 1 state championship in wrestling. My brother Bo got 2. I was a good football player, but they all got the recommendation or the accolades of the recognition of being the best on their team. And then I was a good athlete, but they all got the recognition. I didn't get it. So it became an obsession. And then now I'm the best snowboarder in the family.
There you go.
I can prove it.
Well, I don't know. Mary's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, and listen, my brothers are good snowboarders too.
Sure.
Even the short one, Robbie, my oldest brother, he never snowboarded, but like over the years, he's like, we had to take him out, and you should see him. He's like watching a bull in a china shop. He puts on and just runs through trees and shit, and doesn't know how to do anything. He just goes straight.
I just want to clear the record here for Nick and I, though. The 5'6" is really not short. I mean, it's
pretty tall.
decent height. It's a decent height. It's a decent. So
I just say that I don't know because I got beat
what's
up
up,
and
small
stuff.
king?
Yeah.
Short kings.
Short king, not small
Let's
king.
go, short kings.
It's funny
Not
because
small king. It's cool. It's okay, bro.
No, it's all right.
I mean, I'm 5'6.5". It's fine.
Yeah, no, dude.
No, but
you did play center on your YMCA team.
Well, no, so I played free safety in high school, right? So the funny part is,
smart guy.
Yeah.
funny part is, I experienced where like I played soccer for 20, well, not 20 at that time, 17 years, 16 years. Then all my friends played football, and I'm like, I want to play football. That's cool, right? They got the jerseys Friday. So I signed up for football, and I realized, I don't know, I'm an athlete, but I'm not even close to what these guys are, right? Big, hitting me, this and that. And all I wanted to do was just have my father come and watch, right? Just watch me play football. And so, to backstory really quick, my father is European, could care less about football, right?
Yeah.
His football is soccer.
Yeah.
So I make varsity, right? And not made it by like, you start. I was like, the guy got injured. We got nobody else. Get it, right?
Get in there.
So it's a Friday night, and my dad's, he's in the stands, and I come down. There's a running back. I come on a free safety blitz, hit him hard. He fumbles. It's raining. I get the ball. I'm screaming. I look over to my father, and he's literally turned and looking at there's a soccer field, and he's watching.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, come on, man. What the?
This is my moment.
Yeah,
Dad.
but
That's great.
I had older brother, and same thing. He was just good at everything.
Yeah.
Like, they called him to play baseball. They called him. He was 6'2.5", 6'3", big guy. And I'm like, man, like, everything was easy for him.
Yeah.
For me, it was like a struggle. But what changed is I took speed class. I started working out. I mean, I took one summer, which I think was sophomore year, and I put the work, and I went from like, running a 5-something 40 to like a 4.9, and I just started to really, and it was so detailed. And going back to all your points, like, you learned technique, and I learned that like I wasn't thinking anymore; I was just reacting,
Yeah.
and it just changed. And that's when I was able to really, have a good season, have fun with it. In the end, it wasn't for me. I mean, there's no, there was no future in it. But the point is, I got to walk around with the jersey on, with your name getting announced, and it just. Where we went to high school, we were so bad at football.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. We made the playoffs the first time in like 33 years. They threw a parade.
Yeah.
Just for playoffs. And I'm like, we got free pizza. I'm like, this is embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not even on the team. I'm just here because if 3 guys get injured, I'm involved. So, but to your point though, like, it was the work. It was
The work.
it was, but it was so fun to just get out there and like really see the progress year after year. And in the end, I mean, I translated that to everything, like, because I knew that that was it. But yeah, the 5'6" thing, that didn't really change. You couldn't help
that doesn't change.
Yeah.
Talent's good, right? But without work ethic, it's nothing, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously come from a talented family. The athleticism runs through our family, but without having my brother's insane work ethics, to show me and to push me to the next level, I don't get to where I'm at. There's no chance.
Well, it's like they say, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So there's the point.
Yeah.
So the reason I brought this up is I'm curious, what is the coolest, most impactful, powerful, emotionally powerful sidebar conversation that you had with one of your siblings, where they pulled you aside? Maybe they didn't want to say it in front of a group or whatever, where they pulled you aside and they were like, hey, man. Like,
the one that comes to mind is during the middle of the parade. So when I was growing up, my oldest brother, Rob, he was it, man. I wanted to do everything. Every cool experience I had, whether he taught me how to fish, he taught me everything. And the stuff that I would do with him, we'd go out and he'd show me how to hunt. He did all this stuff with me. And we're going through the parade, and we're about halfway through the parade. And I remember looking over, and he's in the vehicle right next to me, and he's looking at me, and tears are coming out as he goes, dude, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, dude, that's my hero. And he's like, come on. Just, wow.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So that's crazy to see that. And then, and what I didn't get to earlier is like my brothers, like sometimes people would have that resentment against you. Like, wait, you're the one that made it. You did this. Dude, my brothers they're my biggest cheerleaders.
They're too tough. They're tough-minded dudes.
Yeah, right? Great. And then, it's just unbelievable to have people that have your back like that. And no matter what, dude, doesn't matter.
So then, Dad, I saw a picture of your dad. Dad's got forearms like Popeye, right? And he's a hardworking blue-collar guy, raises this family of athletes, and a wonderful daughter. He's got a wife who's a saint, taking in foster children. And here's the guy, the patriarch, right, sitting at the top of this mountain.
Yeah.
Now he sees his son on the national stage, winning at the highest level in the sport that means the most to him. So what is that sidebar? What is that conversation like? Nick and I have both lost our fathers, so we're going to live vicariously through you here for that. Give us that thing that maybe your dad said in his way.
See, he's a Midwest guy, so he doesn't say a lot. He doesn't get into that.
But what did he say?
The coolest part about all this is after I did that first interview after my loss, I called home, obviously, and that's the first time I got some like real deep emotion from my dad.
Really?
And he goes, I just felt bad for you. And I was like, Dad. Man, it was so cool to see
hanging
him
on there, hanging with you.
Oh yeah, he was 100%, and he's got that emotion. He just doesn't let it show. But to have it like full on come out, I've never seen my old man cry.
Yeah,
like never in my life. And to see him emotional like that, just because he felt so bad for me.
Yeah,
because how just beat up I was, and when I was like, I felt like I let everyone down, and he to see that emotion.
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool moment.
Okay,
man.
now Mary.
Oh God, she just. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter what I do. She's it, man.
She's Mary.
She's the best. But having her. I mean, just being able to give them that moment to
Mary
go around.
Probably expected it
because but my whole career it was like. My dad, he would get mad at people. He's like, they don't get it. They don't understand. Like, they don't understand what you're doing. Like, because it was snowboarding. It wasn't this big traditional sport. So he's like, and he would get so mad at people when they wouldn't understand and they wouldn't get it. And they're like, oh yeah, because some people, are just jackasses and they say something.
What?
He didn't. Oh yeah, he lost. He didn't do good or whatever. And my dad's like, they don't fucking get it.
He got cut off by an Austrian.
He caught an edge. Come on.
The guy's cousins with Schwarzenegger. Cut him off.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
have some iron.
Yeah. And my dad's a great dude. Super nice. But like when he gets mad at people because they don't get it. They don't understand. And it's just, it's a proud, hell yeah, Dad. You go and you say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
You earned it, bud. And just having him, both of them, just 100% in my corner for everything.
Okay, so I don't want to get into the what's next because like you're hanging it up and you're on to the next thing because we know that you're in training.
We're in training.
You're going to win another gold medal.
We're going.
And then we're going to have an agent probably to talk to your agent because, one gold medal, cool, come on. You're throwing us a biscuit here, right? But 2 gold medals, it gets a little.
Let my people
I don't know if the Get Shit Done experience is going to be the show. Maybe
We're
Good
flying
Morning
there
America.
For the podcast.
I don't know.
We're going to do this in the UPA.
Yeah. Meet my co-host, Nick Strahan. So You're going to do it, baby, and we're gonna be rooting you on, and just having a chance to interact with you. My money's on you, man. Because just the mindset, the energy, all the vibe, the universe, everything is just flowing through you, and I'm picking it up strong. But there is a next step.
There is a next step,
and we're talking about so after you win this gold, if your body says, "Hey, dude, it's time for you to do the next thing." What's the next thing? You talked about wanting to be on television, in an announcing capacity, or do you want to be an actor? Where do we go? What's the next dream if you are even thinking that yet?
Announcing would be great, and obviously I would like to do that right off the bat, just because I know so much about the sport and there's so much knowledge in here. I think it would definitely make a broadcast so much better. 'Cause sometimes you get broadcasters, they come in, they don't know what they don't know what our sport is. They know nothing about it. So I'd like to definitely announce at the Olympics and use that expertise that I've been gaining over all these years to make the show even better.
Yeah.
And to get more people more excited about our sport and really love it. Because the ratings are always top notch. We always have some of the best ratings on anything.
Yeah, because you got the riches and niches,
crazy,
man.
Right? There's no judging. There's no politics.
Yeah.
First one to the bottom wins, man. I don't care if you're 2 years old or if you're my grandma, 96 years old. She's passed away now, but you get what I mean. There's not. You don't need to get it. Racing's racing. Whoever's the fastest wins. Right. And to use that to be able to shine the right light on my sport and hopefully keep pushing this sport so that the kids can have the same experience that I've had. Yeah. Right. Enjoy it and get the fruit. Right? Because
what if you become the Dick Vitale of snowboard announcing?
Wow. I could be Dick Vitale, the snowboard announcing. People might still not know me. Because it's just different.
What would be the
snowboard racing?
The diaper dandy, baby. What would be the version of that for
I don't know.
For snowboarding? That's what you got to come up with. You can come up with that.
Yeah, we'll come up with something.
A couple slogans.
But so and my brother's a very successful builder in Aspen, Colorado. He's done all the hard work. I've always wanted to have a show in the building space, right?
No kidding.
Talk about I've worked my whole life to chase this dream and to achieve my dream. Now I want the opportunity to build other people's dreams.
Do a documentary of how he does his business?
Well, no, because his jobs are so big and they take 3 years and they're massive. And some people, I mean, they might pay $250,000 for a gold toilet. They don't want the world to know that, right? So we got to find what that platform looks like. And but you saw my brother, he's a dude. Yeah, he's a dude. He's a builder guy. Yeah. And with his hands, he's building people's dreams. And then I want to use that. And part of the show, I always thought what would be cool? We build this dream home, but then we take that money that we used and we worked our butts off to get, and then we go surfing in Costa Rica. And we do these life experiences. It's not live to work, it's work to live. We go out there, we work our butts off, we make that money, and then we go do cool shit. Because
so
who knows?
Rewards of working show.
Yeah, something, right? Yeah. And then, but I think I really think my avenue is going to be speaking, using my story. It's the funnest thing that I've gotten to do outside of my sport is using my story to inspire other people to get what they want out of life. We all know life can beat the crap out of us, but I'm here to show you. My story's here to show you that failure is part of the process. Yeah. And there's quotes I've learned throughout the years, losers quit when they fail, winners fail until they succeed. Mm-hmm. I mean, winners are just losers that didn't give up. These are all these quotes that taught me what I know, and I have the perfect stories to go with these quotes. So I can show you with my story exactly what can happen if you don't give up. Yeah. And the cool thing is when I speak at schools, I'm an adult, right? I meet the age requirement of an adult.
Yeah.
But I'm a snowboarder.
Yeah.
So I'm not really an adult. So I got an avenue to touch some people. And not only the kids, but I won this medal with Lindsay at 40 years old.
Yeah.
So that opens up to so many people. I can inspire people of all ages.
So that 35-year-old teacher who's doing the job but just kind of is doing it, but really has a passion to become a chef, is listening to you talk to these kids and is going, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go be a chef.
Well, that, or she's burnt out, she's tired of it, and I spark that fire and I get her real passionate about helping those kids.
Yeah.
Whatever the story may be. I want to be able to help people get what I've gotten out of chasing my dream. Because, guys, I fell so many times. But
literally and figuratively.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and another thing is, like, my last race, I just came from a race in Italy where I trained my butt off this off season. We did so many snowboard training camps. I flew all the way to Italy to race. I did so good. I qualified for the finals. I'm fast, man. Training runs before our heat. Dude, I was dominant. Everything was going well. And then the gate drops in my first heat. I make it about 10 feet down the course, and I smack into a wall, almost break my back, and it's over. And you want to know what? Most people would be embarrassed to show that. So I immediately put that thing on the internet and showed people this is what happens.
Yeah.
But with the right attitude, man.
Yeah.
So boom, you
Pick
like come
yourself
out the
back
gate,
up.
there's an immediate jump. You missed the jump and slammed into the base of the jump.
Yeah, right into the wall. Like, and then I'm bent over, like can't catch my breath.
And the cameras are on you like, care to do an interview?
As soon as I catch my breath, I look to the side. There's a boom camera in front of me, and I look at it with this giggle, and I'm like, dude, that's not how you do that.
Yeah.
And it's
Like, can you imagine screwing up a cold call and it's immediately like they're like, yeah, this is
Yeah.
this is Dan, this is Dan Rather. Nick, what the hell went wrong on that call?
What do you think would have happened, like, if one of the younger kids did that?
Oh, they
Fucking snowboard would go
no, the snow would
flying.
melt. Yeah.
They would lose their mind. But I've learned over the years. I've learned how to control those emotions. I've learned these things, and I can share these things with many people. People that are chasing sports, people that are in the corporate world,
Want to start a
whatever it
business,
means.
doesn't
People that
matter.
have a team of people they're trying to manage and get that team together.
People
I
that
have
want to
the
get
ability.
shit done.
Yeah, people that want to get shit done.
Let's go, baby.
Let's get it
So
done.
the top of this book says, this is a quote, funny, heartwarming, and inspiring. And then it says, Michael Phelps. Is that the Michael Phelps?
No, it's the guy from the Upper Peninsula. Same. No, absolutely. Michael
So-
Phelps. How crazy is that?
That's pretty sweet. So Michael Phelps, Olympic, like everything of all time,
27 medals, yeah.
the greatest of all time as
Yeah,
it relates
absolutely.
to Olympic sport. I mean, just phenomenal.
I think you can say to any sport.
I mean,
It
that's
doesn't
next
matter.
level.
At
Who's
that
won
level,
that much?
no.
Yeah, Bill Russell won that a lot, but 10 times? But
Yeah.
who's won as much as him?
But he's also done
No
it
one.
on his own for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean,
Talk about
Russell's
just
on a team, a
mastery.
little different.
Yeah.
So when a guy at that level quotes on your book, that's
Dude, it's crazy.
That's pretty powerful, man.
It's unbelievable,
That's
like-
inspirational.
Are you kidding me?
What a great picture here, as Nick had commented, wearing the American flag. He's carrying all of us here with the United States that are proud of the United States, which I think all of us in this darn room are. And if you're listening, you should be too. It is the greatest country of all time, where dreams like this can happen. You can come from a small town. You can come from a family raised by a saint named Mary, and essentially chase your dreams and go do things. You don't need a pile of money. You can find a way. Communities come together. They raise money. You go out, you grind, you do all the things, you fall down, you get back up, you go find a way, and next thing you know, you've got an amazing author. I can't pronounce his last name.
Jeff Seidel.
Seidel, co-authoring this with Nick Baumgartner. Gold from Iron. This is the book that you need to buy. And by the way, if you are a business owner, you are a CMO, you're a chief communications officer, you run a sales team, you run an organization. If you've heard this podcast, this is not a guy who's untouchable. This is a very approachable human being that you clearly see leads with his heart. He'll take the phone call. He'll come out and talk to your team, and they'll want to run through a wall, much like I think Nick and I probably do. Like, I want to go make cold calls right now after this and just like, I'm not going to, though, because we're going to talk more, but but I would if I was going to.
If I was going
I would. But I'm probably just going to start reading this book. But this is a book that you gotta buy. Nick, give us a final comment. What are your thoughts here of being on the show?
Well, first, it's an honor to meet you. I've never met an Olympian in my life. I'll be very honest about it. This has been one of my favorite experiences ever. My comment is, I'm completely inspired. This is like, you hear the stories, but like actually, when you talk, I felt a lot of that.
Feel the energy.
You're honestly, I think you the work that you put in is something that's even more inspiring. But more than that, I think your family values is what drove you to who you are today, and that's incredible.
Yeah.
Nick Baumgartner, leave us with a final inspirational thought.
what do I do with my hands?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
Perfect.
God. No, it just, you guys, I mean, if there's something you want in this life, if there's a way you want to guarantee that you get it, it's outwork everyone. If you outwork everyone, I guaranteed you will get there. Just do not give up when things get tough, because you're selling yourself short. And,
Absolutely.
Hold yourself to a higher standard than that.
Love it. Nick 2.0. Gentlemen, I want to remind you, you got shit done.
We got shit done.
Let's go. Cheers.
All right, brother.
Can your business handle 15% growth? If yes, you have to engage with 2020 Design. They fuse data and creativity to stop the scroll, break through the noise, and grab the attention of your future customers. 2020 Design will create competitive, click-worthy campaigns, design and build custom websites, spark your social media presence, and structure email campaigns that get right to your audience, the decision maker. Let's boost attention and awareness, which allows you to convert more sales. Check them out at 2020design.com. That's the number 20, TWENTY design.com.